And we're live! Hello and welcome to episode 151 of Game Theory Gang. I'm your host, Matty Allen, with ChrispyMan of Hexfire.io and Fast Abdoul of 2phux.io. Welcome.
Hey guys, how goes it?
It's going good. Green candles are raining down on all of our beloved crypto tokens and coins.
Not all
Have
of
you
them,
heard?
but the good
Have you
ones.
heard?
I've heard about that.
Have you heard the good news, Matty? Have you heard the good news? I'd like to share my postcard and pamphlet with you.
Right.
No
Well,
offense, Jehovah Witnesses out there. I'm just saying.
It better not say 38% APY on it.
That's true.
Oh, don't even get me started, man. Don't even get me started with that. Yeah.
Well, I hope people are hitting the like and subscribe button and sharing this out because this is a good one. We've got major actions taken, probably the greatest week in PulseChain and Hex history.
In history.
Ever.
Big deal. Yeah.
So shout out to everybody who's in the chat, people who are watching live and on the replay gang. We got True Blue out here. How dare you interrupt watching Crispy? Well, he's coming live now, so there you go. We got Tam out here. What's up? OBX, Shell Fox, the Beached Whale. People are giving good reviews to Crispy's stream earlier. Yellowtail and Adam says, "I'll try to catch you live." Hardcore replay gang member. Could you discuss the PLP token from farming? Could this token be a keeper? I was going to swap it back to Ink. Never financial advice.
We should hit on that briefly because I think Adam's talking about the LP token from staking that he got from removing himself from the farm, which is not something you should sell. If I'm correct, he should just withdraw the LP and get the tokens back.
Yeah. We make sure people know that, right? Because otherwise they can make a mistake. They can't be sold on the market. They're just not get a good price for it. You need to remove.
There could be a liquidity pool where you could sell it, but it's a terrible plan, right?
Yeah. You need to unstake it if that's what you're doing, and then you need to go to the liquidity panel and withdraw the liquidity. That's how you do it.
This is the way.
Right. And one of the reasons why that's so important is because if you've removed it from the ink farm, you're not earning ink anymore, but you are earning impermanent loss by just holding the PLP token. And so make sure that you follow the right instructions and, as you guys said, not to sell it haphazardly on the market for much less than it's worth. Basically, what you're doing is you're redeeming it through the PulseX.com website. You're redeeming it for the two underlying tokens that you were farming. So if I was farming USDC and Pulse, or if I was farming Pulse and PulseX, then I would be getting both of those tokens out of the PLP token at the same time by essentially like unwrapping that liquidity position.
Yeah. And worth noting that the V1 positions for the farms do not pay you any fees, so there's no other benefit to keeping your tokens inside that LP position. If it's a V1, if it's a V2, you might be making some fees, but none of the farms on PulseX are V2. They're all V1.
Damn right.
It does burn PulseX to have it in there. So if you're just being, beneficial to the community, then go to town, provide V1 liquidity. But if you're looking to build your bags, V2 liquidity or other protocols featuring liquidity.
That's right.
So if we had to summarize like the most epic week in PulseChain and Hex history, no cap, what would that look like? What has happened in the past week that you wouldn't have known from the price chart person?
Low inflation, I think, is the key phrase for the PulseChain this week. Right.
Lack of inflation.
I guess
lack of
deflation.
Well, no,
Disinflation.
I guess disinflation, maybe. I don't know, man. I would say, I'd say we're all degens now.
We are.
What?
I said we're all degens now.
Yeah,
I can pump your.
What's that supposed to mean?
I can pump your tires, right? That's kind of like a degen activity. No sense in staking hex anymore, right? At the moment, I mean, a lot of people feel this way. So, what do you do with your hex? I guess we go trade it, right? How about farms? You know, my tokens aren't in the farms, so I guess I'll go trade those too. Maybe I'll buy the next pump.2 tires. Which,
Maybe we need to explain to people what the master plan here is.
Maybe. Well, wait a minute. I think I know the master plan, but I'm not sure what the master plan is you're speaking of. So go ahead. You tell us the master plan.
Well, let's just review. Like, so what's happened is last week when we streamed, I think it was Tuesday, you had billions and billions of hex being staked by the OA.
Billions and billions more.
But they were only being staked for a week. And that was the first clue after, I mean, really, I guess it was a week and a half ago when Pump.Tires popped up, where we knew that the dev was cooking and things were happening, new things were happening. This plan to burn more Pulse was revealed as a part of a fork of Pump.Fun called Pump.Tires, and a series of like 3 to 19 meme coins were launched by whatever like OA address is behind Pump.Tires. And so that was like that's when the excitement started. And ever since then, about every 2 to 4 days, there's been a major development. And at first it was the OA staked for a week, billions of hex. And then we got the incentive farm, which is like a BNB pancake swap fork where people can earn rewards for providing liquidity. You got the inflation of those ink tokens decreased by 10x. Then, 2 to 4 days later, you get another drop of another 2x decrease in the ink inflation, which I predicted, by the way. And then just today or yesterday or somewhere around there, you got the OA staking for Quattro Cinco, 5,555 days. And as of the day rolling over today, I believe 95% of all liquid hex or whatever has been staked, which means that I mean that's nuts. So that means that probably all the OA's hex has been staked, and what that has done system wide is it's decreased the inflation on PulseChain by releasing Pump.Tires. We've seen lots of burning happening with Pulse. We've also seen more burning happening with PulseX, which is already deflationary, not even disinflationary, but it's strictly deflationary. Then you've got hex inflation decreased, maybe down 7x, I think it said. And then, and ink inflation down 20x. And so, did I miss anything?
Well, say that over again. What you just said about inflation per hex. I don't think that's accurate. Let's nail that down.
Okay. So, I thought the Richard tweet had said 7x decrease in hex inflation.
No, in hex APR.
Okay. Right. Because there's different ways to calculate it based on like the total supply versus like what's staked and how much that's growing. and user controlled. But I'm using the more like aggressive user controlled version.
Yeah. So,
But
well,
please
listen.
correct me.
What I would say is this: is I don't know how we could say in good conscience that the OA is never going to do anything with the tokens. So
correct. So there's
the
what,
inflation.
like
The inflation hasn't gone down. If anything, it's going way up. We'll have to wait. We'll have to wait. Have to wait and see. But what he actually does, she does, it does. But we just have more T shares. The payout's the same. So the payout's coming out. Okay, number one, right? So it's going out. And that a huge amount of that payout is going to the 7-day stakes. And they're 7-day stakes. So if they end, that is going to be a explosion of additional hex. Now, I'm not presuming that the OA is going to sell them if they were to end, but technically it's not deflation, right? We're talking about increasing the amount, even though the system sells inflating 369% per year. We're talking about that rapidly bringing the total supply up. If we were to see the 7-day stakes end and restake, don't know if that's the plan, right? I kind of think it is the plan. But it's incorrect to say things are deflationary because of that, right? They're going to be, I don't think deflationary, inflationary applies anymore to that. But you could argue that those hex are only going into the hands of the OA who never does anything with them, which is obviously not true, right? To the newcomers, at least. So look at, well, apparently the OA does stake. So...
Right, but it's reduced inflation for the everyone except the OA. Would that be accurate?
Correct. That's correct.
Okay. So since the OA tends not to sell any of the hex, I think it's an overall bullish thing as far as the price goes, because there'll be there's less potential dumpers if he's doing these 7-day stakes, or it or she or whoever controls the OA, then there's no. There's much less hex on the market for other people doing 7-day stakes or 30-day rolling stakes to dump on the market on a regular basis. So potential bullish price action there.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's a lot of bullish stuff here. What I'm picking up on and have been talking about and thinking about is in terms of like the whole idea of talking to people about staking. How could you tell somebody to stake right now? You couldn't. I can't. I can't tell somebody to do that. By the way, tomorrow I will do a Quattro Cinco because I know enough about the system and I'm in it enough and I understand what's going on. But how the hell could you tell somebody, hey, for a couple percent you should lock up for 15 years and not have access? Don't worry. Nobody's ever going to mess with you. You're going to be able to get your rewards. And he said, wow, well, wait a minute, price is going to go to $10, so you don't need them. Yeah, I know. The thing is there are a lot of people right now that have come in. Maybe I feel a little bit differently because I've been talking about staking in general and putting a ladder in. And so for newer people that came in, I mean, they're like, the hell just happened? You told me I was going to get rewards. And yeah, it's in the game, right? So the OA can do what it does. And it did. But so are all these people going to get 3% APR for the next 15 years? Is that what's going to happen? Anyways, my point is whether, we all push the button ourselves, but, things have just changed dramatically to the point, and actually this fits my thesis, to the point that staking is probably dead for a while on Hex. Probably dead. The only
depending
people
what the OA does, right? Because there could be bullish actions that like totally change that scenario. Like, and this better than me, Crispy. What happens if the OA emergency end stakes one of those Quattro Cinco stakes? Like
sure.
Like that. Yep. That gets paid out to people who are staking partially.
So when did this entity announce that they were going to do that? What day is that going to be?
Oh, that's the announcement's still coming. It's just implied in the subtext of I want it to happen.
Is it? Is it?
But yeah, no,
Like
there's no
like all
announcement.
like all my 38% stickers, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to reprint those, I think.
Yeah. Actually, you get a little bit of that. I don't know if you still have whiteout or whatever. You just put a little dot there.
Oh yeah, just
Three
3%,
3.8%. You're good.
3.8%. Okay, yeah, that's
It was
okay.
it was a typo, everybody. Hey, the reason I'm going after it this way is, listen, I think it's like super bullish for Hex, and I think it's all of this is super bullish for PulseChain. What I do think we have to address, though, and should talk about and let people bring it up when they bring it up. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna. You know how many people are not going to stake because of this? They're
Oh
going
yeah,
to object to the fact that the percentage is down. Object to the fact that the OA took the action. I mean, we got plenty of other FUD about the OA. Why wouldn't you get FUD about this? I mean, this doesn't feel decentralized. This doesn't feel immutable. This doesn't feel like the people who interact with the contract decide. The OA is one of the people, I guess, that interacts with it, but clearly very strong. So, anyways, so I'll get off this little rant thing. I just know there are people listening that are pissed off right now, and upset. I'm not pissed off and upset about it personally because I've already had my stakes, right? And I already got my 30, 20, whatever percent APR for the last 5 years, and those stakes are already there, right? So I'm good. But I really, until things settled down, we had some sort of normalcy. I don't think I'd be able to tell people, hey, I really think the first thing you should do is go stake and put a ladder in. That may, in fact, be the best thing for them. But instead, what I'll say is, listen, you got to go make your own decisions, decide whether you trust the system, whether you trust the OA. Go read about it, go learn about it. Don't stake. And now, for you guys, yeah, I'd be telling you to do it. I think it'd be silly for anybody who knows the system not to do it because it just got so damn bullish. But I can't guarantee it because I don't know what the hell the OA is going to do.
Well, look, if people wanted to get into hex staking, they would be buying Deci at a 60% discount, but they're not. So,
dude, that's ridiculous.
So the advice for me to tell new people, which I do, is the same 2 weeks ago as it is now, is buy Deci, because that's the best deal you're going to get on hex staking. And now maybe that's even more true than ever, or mathematically more true.
Well, as an asset by itself, I put out an alert to my group this week, and yeah, 50% instant value. It's a buy and hold, man.
But like the concept of the value of holding hex, whether it's staked or not, I think has dramatically gone up. And the sell story behind hex, like now that they're, especially if the OA continues making more Quattrocinco stakes, like 15-year stakes, because one of the FUD items around hex was always this giant OA account, and now a lot of that is locked for 15 years out. So like people on other chains who look at hex and be like, oh, the OA has this giant bag of hex, but a lot of it's locked for 15 years now. Like that's reduced that perception that the OA could.
There's some good optics there.
Yeah, it's good optics.
Is it about half and half?
Yeah, what's the breakdown between 7 days and 15 years?
Hell of I know.
Really?
Roughly. I won't give you. I don't have the numbers of the hex itself, but roughly we had, just for the sake of argument, the numbers are just slightly different. We had about 10 million, just say about 10 million T-shares. It was really about 9, right?
Okay.
We added 10 million short, and we added 10 million long, and so each chain is right around 30 million, give or take a little bit.
Wow.
And 30 million T-shares, and essentially what I would say is hex has been rigged for battle. All right, if you understand what that means. Hatches are battened down, everything's tied down. There ain't nothing somebody can do to hex right now that the OA can't control and take care of and manage, right? So hey, if you're with those shorties or getting the 8%, I guess you go find something else to do with your hex. And I wasn't one of them, by the way. So I have no dog in that hunt. I just realized that the bow wave was replaced, man. So you remember we used to do the bow wave. We looked month after month after month of the bow wave. Well, now it's a tidal wave. Boom. Right, 7 days. Don't know if it's going to be extended, right? But there's that. And then, of course, now there is only one Poseidon in 2040. Wow. Depends on how you want to count all those addresses, right? We have one there. So anyways, Hex has been batting down, man.
Let's go.
It can handle anything. It can handle anything.
What's
including price going up to $5 or $10.
$5 or $10 per hex.
Yeah, per hex. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'd be okay with that. Like I was hoping for $100, but I'll settle.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's a great alternative to, hey, you don't get any yield anymore, right? But but the thing is about it is
yield is just fine.
How many people are going to hold on to this hex? Not going to be very many people. And I think that the yield won't be back for a while. I think it may. We have to wait and see a couple of days. But I'm thinking it's being done. It's probably going to be done for a year. Maybe longer.
This is the great time to remind people about actually how bond math actually works. So nobody lost nothing. And today I'm giving everybody a treat. We're going to get a dream account update. We're going to show the real yield, what's going on. So it's like nothing has been left. Those who are in position, who have been in position, shout out to you, 5 year collecting your shit. You got paid and you will continue to get paid. Those who didn't, sucks for you. I'm sorry. Uncle Richard and crew have been giving you freebies for a while. Maddie, look at this epic poetic justice, right? 5 years in, it's like a third of a Cuatro Cinco, right? Lower prices, freebies, high rates. Those who took care of it, took care of it. Those who said staking was a bad idea.
Go back to what you said, though. I think it's important. It's an important point. Those of us who have been staking have a ladder. You earned your yield. You're good, man. You don't need any more hex probably ever. Right? Maybe you'll get some more and you'll have a trickle of new yield. But Kareem and anybody else has been out there, they've got 50%, 60% APR for the last 5 years. Right? They're okay. They're okay with it dropping to 3 or 4%. Right?
And I'm going to show live.
They got plenty of units. But the new guys, it's tough.
It's still good because people don't know how to do the math right. That's why today we're going to explain how bond math actually works. Because not only those are long-term stake, but they're also old T-share with a 5x multiplier. Actually, I was waiting for, PulseChain to cross the 40,000 hex for T-share. It's right there. It kissed it almost, but it's like, oh man, I wanted to make a tweet about that because EX is already at 40,000 plus. The other one is 39 and change. But basically, it's right around 40,000. Just that alone gives you a 4x multiplier if you're one of the earlier person or whatever. So it's like it didn't just come in. Oh, let me suck the yield. No. Number two, very important that we're going to break down tonight. The big chunk of what's being staked, the $250 billion are weekly stakes. It's very freaking important. If those were Cuatro Cincos or more, see you later, bye-bye, 99% stake, 369 is the only yield you get. They were weekly stake on purpose to do what? To kill all the people that are just doing those short-term stake, rotation stake. I used to love it too, but it's like those days are over because we're tired of people just not really like moving the needle. They're just, hey, I'm gonna put a bunch, dump it every week. Those are the ones being taken care of. And then that's why global yield went down, but the person that's already in the system or has been in the system, your yield didn't go as much down. Now, which we're gonna show on go.hex.com.
Say that again. Your yield didn't go down. It did go down.
It's actually better with the visual aid. I'm gonna show you. So you get to understand. Go.hex.com. So hold on. Boom. By the way, is it just me? But like I was trying to download the new updated go.hex.com and like Google is not even letting me download hex stuff. It's saying malicious.
Yeah, there's all sorts.
Bro, it's crazy. It's like I can't even do what I want to do. It's crazy. Like I'm trying to remove it. It still won't download it. Like I might need some. I mean, I have the old version. Or I can go on the actual Pinata thing, but I would love to get if somebody got a hookup on that, how to download, because literally Google won't let me download. Maybe I need to change browsers.
You can go to the GitLab and do it directly.
Gotcha. So it's not just me.
Hey, fast. I'll tell you what has become super valuable overnight are HSIs.
Oh hell yeah! And Hedron's coming back too.
Yeah, for the same reason that Kareem's talking about, because it is broken. It's baked in old T-share rate. Those are
Right.
going to carry a higher
Yeah.
APR per the hex put into it in the first place.
That's why we tweeted hard. So today,
Much
it's
like
gonna be crazy
Desi as well.
Crazy. Maddie, I came fully loaded. Before we even go, Maddie, do we have any updates, or maybe you guys went over that? Like, because I'm about to go crazy. So before I even take over, I just want to know: is there anything important update that we need to go over before I overwhelm people with data? But I think this is good.
Well, so I do want to, like,
Please do.
kind of, I want to point out, like, all right, what are some of the things that the OA has like left on the table, right? Because as I've been explaining, there's been 2 to 4 days between each of these huge updates we've been seeing for the past week and a half. And so there's a rhythm here. There's a pattern. And maybe we've already got, all of the data points, or maybe there are some more things that could come into play. And so what am I looking at in terms of what moves does the OA have left? So I already tweeted ahead of time that, like, ink inflation can go down 1,000x. I tweeted that before it went down another 2x yesterday. So that's kind of cool. That was a good prediction. But, I saw what one person was saying. Yeah. So I said, if people don't remove enough of their liquidity, then Chef Ricardo isn't going to mess around and is going to drop the ink payouts even lower. And that's what happened 2 days later.
That's exactly what it's called. Bully ball. This is bully. This is Trump style with the tariff. It's like, I'm 10x lower. Get out of the pool. You don't listen? I'm going to cut it even more. Get out of the fucking pool. And the same thing with the hex. For those who don't know, who don't remember, thank God I have great memory. Exactly what happened on Big Payday. If you guys remember how we got to the 99% stake, is that the first day, they were like massive stake, crazy volume, but they were all like 8 to 10 to 12 million hex. There was that volume. Boom, boom, boom. They came in. Second day, day 2, because they started 3 days before the actual day. Day 2, 50 million hex and above start coming in. Just stick. They were all like 3-day stakes, kind of like the defense. And then the day 3, the 100 millions and plus were the one that were coming in. And that's how we got to 99. So it's always in 3 phases, because it's a lot of wallets, you know what I'm saying? So phase 1 for the staking, again, this is what we got with the 250 billion hex, because most likely what happened was a lot of data addresses got consolidated, because for safety, which makes sense, I was monitoring that from back in the day. Every time a wallet gets about 900 million hex or close to 1 billion, a new data address gets spin out, because it comes from the EES money, which is smart, because it's safety. You don't have too much in one. If one wallet is compromised, you don't want that money to be dumped on. So they were getting split up like that. Now they got consolidated to the 50 billion per wallet and then staked again for about a week. But just that one move alone, boom, 62% APY. But what he did was he didn't really attack any midterm or long-term stake. It was just like, let's kill all the 1 week stake guys, because guys, there's people, right or wrong, that have hundreds of millions of hex that can literally just stake 30 days and then, just keep dumping the yield on your head constantly and not trying to get to the glory like we're trying to do, right? Because some of us want to do the glory. And this is the time where talk is cheap. It's about action. I don't care how many hex you have. Do you stake or no? If you don't, or if you want to do short term, you're going to get penalized. And that was the remark for that. And then if you're going to potentially start, running the play, you want to minimize the yield as much as possible, the new yield, so that, again, this bonding map for the new people watching, because technically what's happening is it's a rebalancing. This is what I've always said since the beginning. Hex is very dynamic. For people, once you think you figure it out, you don't. It's human behavior. And sometimes if you don't get the behavior that you want, you can make it in a way where it changes and it goes back to where it needs to be. It can look very, very, oh my God, so many coins, hyperinflationary, or all of a sudden, like the bears, it's boom. It switches on the dime. Now it becomes the scariest thing you ever had. Because in the beginning, and everybody know, the mindset, the worldview of Richard is like, hey, we want everybody to participate. We want everybody to have a chance. What do you think the crowd sale was this long? So there's no excuse. Nobody can come in and say you didn't have a chance to buy. Nobody. So
I think I've got like 6 or 7 like predictions And that could keep us going for a couple weeks here if this pace, or even a month if this pace keeps going with every like 2 to 4 days. But I think what else could we see? I think that the OA could continue to stake these 7-day things. That's one.
And there's a reason we could.
I think the OA is going to spin up 54,000 new validators.
Okay, that was one on my list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But man,
so
just on the hex side, I think there's a lot to unpack here that I think most
right. Let me just get the 6 or 7 of them on paper before I forget, and then we can dig into any of them or kind of just see where everything goes. But so PLS inflation could be decreased by the OA spinning up validators, right?
Yep.
That's something that Crispy just said that was on my list.
Yep.
We said Hex OA continuing to roll out those short stakes or make them longer term. That's the second thing. You could also see single-sided staking for Pulse X. That's something that would be incredibly powerful to the upside, and we've pumped out tires kind of like had a major advantage for Pulse X, but this would be
it's just an add-on.
Several factors greater than that.
Yeah. If you get to attack the degen, it's going to help burn Pulse, because Pulse needs as much help as he can to get burned. Hex, we're about to talk about it. The staking will take care of business. Pulse Hex is just automatic, what somebody call the automatic drunken Michael seller. The volume is going to take care of that. But PulseChain needs help. So that's why the whatever the pump that whatever is doing, or the validator, is a good idea, because that's the one that's going to need a little bit more help to go deflationary, because it's just like Ethereum. If volume doesn't come enough, it just starts to inflate. So it's disinflationary, but if we get enough volume consistently, it can really go deflationary. And so
I think
will help that.
A fourth thing could be that okay, hold on. Let me get my let me get my mental list. I told you, Kareem, I said I got to get it down on paper, otherwise I'm going to forget all these, right? So all right, so Richard live streams, that's something. Case gets dismissed, that's another thing. And RH wallet, something like that. So we've been blessed.
In the chat.
We've been blessed with all the things that have just happened. We just got multiple years worth of action happening all at once. And the list of things that has already happened, I think, could carry us and carry the price through this wave for sure. But I think that whether the things that I just listed, whether those are brought out this wave or in the subsequent wave that we're going to have maybe before the end of the year, I think there's just a huge opportunity here to see, to see the OA in action. So huge fan of it. And we do have Sami in the chat. Hex is a scarce diamond, and the future supply got significantly diminished. De Beers did the same thing with diamonds for the past 80 years. We will get Hex at 10 cents. Everyone dreams of $1. Love it.
Amen. Preach. It's like one of my tweets that I also said that also, by the way, Hex has been in a Wyckoff accumulation pattern, literally with the breakouts. One of my latest tweets the last couple of days. And the bull flag, even from the low that we have, points literally up about 11 cents. So double digits definitely coming in the books. But what's important is, again, I want to just remind everybody about the mechanics about how Hex work and why the statement that somebody just said is so important, because it's like I want everybody to really understand how crazy like the inflation got kicked down. But also it was done in a fair way, in a sense where the people who really, really believe, which again, with action, not just talk, are actually still taken care of and almost not going to be affected by it. And this is why I want to teach people again about how bond math actually works, so they get to understand, like, you actually didn't lose. You know what I mean? And most likely overall, by the time it's set where we're going, you actually gain more than you lost. So that's the key. But before I go, I want to make sure everybody is done doing the breakdown first, because it's going to take me like 20 minutes because I'm going to explain it to not lose anybody.
What's the next item, Maddie?
I just
go
want to
ahead.
point. I just
Okay.
want to point out these awesome backgrounds that both. So Fast Abdul's got like the Amish farming
Fresh
meme in
haircut.
his background, which is like I'm not sure if it's saving North Carolina or earning more ink a different way, because like you have to go in the real world now if you want to earn it. But that's fire. And speaking of fire, ChrispyMan has an epic new background as well.
That is fire.
This is my Hexfire background for my T-shares.
Now, Crispy, for people who weren't fortunate enough to catch it, like, what was it that you streamed about earlier today that everybody keeps ranting and raving about?
Well, it's about this topic. I agree, about the hex topic and the changes. I 100% agree that I am in great shape with hex, and that my ladder will do fine, and all of this is super bullish. All right. What I have a problem with at the moment is digesting the fact that we're putting hex staking on hold for a while. And I know there's some arguments people can argue with. I've been Sierra and I talked about it for a while. Argue with me that no, it's still a good thing, and Kareem's going to show us how it turns out to be a good thing.
Exactly.
Well, what I'm telling you though is that I talked to lots of people, hundreds of people, billions and billions of people,
right?
And they didn't want to stake when you had 8% APR, and so I'm pretty sure they're not interested in staking when it's much less, and it's going to be a much harder sell, and I'm okay with that, because that is the reality of the situation. That everybody that we're going to be talking to are going to be DGen City, and like I've talked about many times, a walled hex mining garden is perfectly fine, and we'll all be super successful. I'm just a little sad that for a while,
I'll cheer you up.
The glory days.
People are not going to want to stake, and that conversation is not going to go well.
Okay. All
right. Well, and people will continue to stake because they're saving themselves from themselves.
Yes.
I'm not talking about us guys. I'm talking about
new people. Yeah.
Why? They're going to be some that'll find their way in there. They're going to be fine. Pump that tires, lock up for 15 years, and maybe you get 3%, and the OA maybe might not do anything.
It's all about education, because it's something that's.
Well, wait a minute. The OA just did a bunch of stuff. Don't give me that, right? I mean, listen, guys, I'm on the right side with all this. I'm just saying there are real people out here that haven't joined yet that are going to be like.
I'm about to keep those people open.
I'm sorry that the mission seems like it's on hold. The mission being to save people.
Okay. Well, let me know when I can go. I can show you that it's not what you think. Okay.
Let's hear it, Kareem.
And for people watching who don't understand what bond math is, this is the reason why I say 20 minutes, because obviously some advanced users already know they might get in 5 minutes, but I just want to make sure I'm not, ignoring anybody that's in the audience. So I'm going to use just a basic example. Let's say, imagine worst case scenario, right? We get global average at, 100% stake, meaning 369, right? First rule people forget is that the inflation is not paid in dollar term, it's paid in hex. So if hypothetically 99.9% of the hex gets staked and we go all the way down to 369, which is the maximum inflation that can be paid, right? Once you get that low, and obviously so much is sucked by the entity that is clearly not selling because it hasn't sold a single coin, right? 5 years, why would that change, right? And whatever that's left in the liquidity pool, whether it is on PulseX or eHex, like we're literally talking about, guys, we're talking about 500 million hex. It's almost basically nothing. And I started tweeting about it a couple of days ago when it was like, just 3 days ago, it was like 800 plus almost 900 million. And it's going down fast. That's
500 million hex for sale in the liquidity pools. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, and let's not forget that, again, that's what dictates the price now, and everything moves as a function of a square. So in other words, if literally it goes to 250 mil, which can easily dump it, another 250 mil is gone, the price actually 4x, and then it accelerates even faster. This is why it's exponential. The higher it goes, and then the green candle comes and the FOMO kicks in, people are literally going to start fighting for what's left. And if the new inflation is not really giving you anything, the people in position long-term, or like myself, we don't really care about the price because, again, we already won. It's just long-term. We just want to be there for the glory. We're not going to sell. Whoever's left is literally what's going to provide the liquidity, but it's not going to be enough to be able to suppress the buying that's going to come. So in terms of pure yield, if you're getting 369, worst case scenario, 99% stake, and the price 10x, literally we go to that 10 cents that we just talked about, which the technical shows that that's what we're heading to. And like Sonny just mentioned, literally we go back to 36%. Because the way bond math goes is that if the yield goes down to 369, but the price 10x, your 369 is actually worth 36%, 0.9, so almost 37%, which then means that the higher the price can go, because people, when they look at the saving and their yield, they look at it in dollar terms. This is the reason why I was there last time when we went to 50 cents. It started like Crispy said, oh, nobody wants to stay because they don't really understand. Then Hex went to 10 cents, then 15 cents, then 20 cents. Then all of a sudden, people were like, wait a minute, I have $100,000 right now, cash. I don't really know how to trade. I might get wrecked. But if I just stake this thing on a monthly basis, I'm making $2,000, $3,000. Oh my God, I'm financially free. My bills are paid. All of a sudden, the behavior changed. In other words, it's dynamic. It's the same thing I've been saying for 5 years. When people were like, idiots were talking about, oh, staking is a waste of time. Now all of a sudden, we're vindicated because it changed based on the behavior. At lower price, yes, it might look crazy. It might look like it don't make no sense. Why am I staking this thing? It's so volatile. I'm barely earning any money, blah, blah, blah. I can put it, stake it, and then the price go down 50%. What happened when you stake it and the price goes up? What happened when the price goes to a certain level where literally your bills are paid because the yield is taking care of you? And then now, just like the Amazon chart that we're talking about, it might not stop doing, let's say at 30, 40, 50 cents. We might stop doing 50% candle. But the moment the price gets steady and just do 2-3% increase every other month, or about 5 to 10%, like a stock market every year, you're already taken care of. And then all of a sudden, a second supply shock happens because the people who used to just be like, hey, I'm just going to trade and dump, start to realize that I'm not the best trader, which is true. Again, people got liquidated just last week, right? Even the pros, they're all crying now. They got no money. So it's like they're going to be like, why take risk to trade when you're going to lose, when I can just stake and earn what I want to earn on a monthly basis? Because again, I have seen it. The behavior of the staking change based on the price. The same way you can talk about all the cool marketing stuff, people don't care. Then the green candle comes, all of a sudden people care. All of a sudden everybody want to talk about us. And this is the same thing that I said last week. It looks exactly like the 2021. Ethereum stopped doing very well. People start getting disappointed. It started going down. Then we start shooting up like crazy. Godwell got in, pushed the price up. And then all of a sudden, we were the cool place to be when everything was red, floor is lava, all that kind of stuff. If everybody can pay attention, the meme coin are kind of getting a little bit of exhaustion. The Solana chart, if you look at the Solana BTC chart, it looks like the Ethereum ETH BTC chart, but just 3 years in the past. It's like those things are getting very, very toppy, where we're literally waking up the dragon. And one more thing, which is important, is Bitcoin, where it's at now, it has to stay where it's at and go up. If it goes 90K and below, it's going to fall out of the parabola. You guys remember that? The falling out of the parabola?
Oh,
right?
My least favorite thing.
Exactly. Federal
to
Reserve
do with the parabola.
Today, he said, I'm not in a rush to raising rates, which means quantitative easing might not show up for another month or two. So it's like all those things, the timing, everything happens for a reason. So it's like when you factor all those things in, it's completely different. So now, Maddie, if you don't mind, I'm gonna share my screen. Back to the hex taking, where I just want to share that a lot of things that people don't understand, it shows on the global stat, but that has nothing to do with what people have been doing before. So let me know when you can see my screen.
Yep.
By the way, this is
I can see it now.
All right, perfect. This is one of the dream account. So basically, as you guys can see here, right, 33 million T-share plugged in, right, because we passed the 7 p.m. 8 p.m. Eastern. And as you can see, payout per T-share is below 2, right? You see 3.89. So which means it's very, very close to the 3.69 target, which makes sense because that's what happens when you get to 99%. We are 95 right now and change. And by the way, fun fact, PulseChain now is higher in percentage taking than EHEX. How funny is that? Look, the pool, only 519 that's left. EHEX is already at 243. I predict, which is saying that this number is going to start catching up to this number very, very fast. And there's a chance where they might start, the parity talk can come back. But I digress. 95% stake, which means when you go back here, that's why you get 3.89. If we go to 99%, which is the maximum we could do at 99% stake, it's the famous 369. For those who remember, we actually read the Hex white paper, right? It literally says that if 1% is stake, your inflation is 369% a year. If 99% is stake, basically 100, it goes as low at 369, which means, it's important what I'm saying, which means no matter how many more T-shares you add, you can't go higher than 99%. You know what I mean? So it's why this number go ahead, Manny.
Yeah, so is it true that right now about 95% is staked, 1% is in a liquidity pool, and 4% is like just being held by people in their wallets?
More or less, because I don't know if you guys remember a long time ago, somebody asked me, and I've done the kind of like rough analysis. That goes back to the Gunter Excel sheet, where I did a rough estimate that OA owns roughly about 95, 96%. Because right from the get-go, when the game started, right, everybody knows there's a copy 50%. So he started at 50% from the crowd sale time, right? Then every time there's an EES, he gets 50%. That's how the percentage was risen. Then we got 2 sacrifice. A lot of hex was sacrificed during those times too. Boom. Guess what? The percentage rise as well. I calculated that. Then during the whole depeg moment when people was, no offense, not smart enough to just start picking sides instead of just understanding that you already won, you own both. But guess what? They sold a bunch there too. And there was a lot of EES that happened during that time. There's a lot of EES that also happened during the sacrifice phase. So all of those, the OA has just been gobbling that, so to speak. And then as the price went down and up to every now and then, we get some capitulation. Unfortunately, we got some hacks as well. So I already knew it's somewhere around 90. It's anywhere between 96 to 98%, more or less, because I was able to do the reverse calculation based on how many coins are staked. Because to me, the staker class is really like the joint of hex, because staker class is the most part. And then what's liquid, non-OA, it's a very negligible. Like I say, it's about a 1%. So when I did that math based on the total number of coins circulating and what was staked, I knew that the user owns about 3 to 4%. Is that roughly, 50 billion more or less? That was the roughly 6 million to 8 million T-share that we represented as a community, right? So now you realize that that's why it's at 95%. I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to get around 96. But this is where it gets crazy. I want everybody to pay attention. The 250 billion hex that are staked on the weekly, okay, are generating roughly, this is crazy, they're generating roughly over 500 million hex per week. Let me say that again. They're generating over 500 million hex per week, possibly more. We're going to find out by Wednesday, okay, tomorrow or Thursday, if that gets end stake. Because if that gets end stake, there's a high chance share rate gets ratcheted up again. And then he or she, part of the B, can just take that 500 million and then turn that into cuatro cincos again. Just like the last couple one we've been seeing this past couple of days, which means it's a ratcheting of the share rate, and it's trending towards that 99% like I'm be talking about. Because even in the worst case scenario, you get 99%, you got to remember 2 things. This is what I'm going to show you guys here from the Dream account. Is the fact that this is almost 40,000 hex per T-share. Those are new share rate. It's not what we got when we got protected, whether it is 10,000 hex per T-share for those who are day one, or about 11,000 or 16,000 hex per T-share for those who are after big payday. So you got taken care as well. And everybody for the last 3 to 3.5 years, almost 4 years, you got anywhere from 20,000 hex per T-share to 25,000 hex per T-share. So basically, you had plenty of time to get in position, build your ladder, get your 15-year stakes, and all this other stuff. Because guess what? What ended up happening is, even with, I just showed you, let me show you again, 389, 33 million T-shares, okay? We're talking, it's almost as low as it can be. It shouldn't be going lower than 369 based on the code, because that's the minimum globals, the global APY. And even at this level, Dream account's still generating 20% APY, on the yearly compounding. But here's the key. This is the part that I want Crispy to remember. It's the total. We've been collecting high yield for years. So yes.
Yeah, dude, it's not. My point isn't about me.
No, I get it. I get it. No, I'm just
No,
explaining.
but you keep coming back to it. I'm fine, man. I'm gonna get great yield, and I already got great yield in a situation where hex is gonna, if this was to continue, right? Hex would be like super scarce. Like anybody who sells any now is insane, right?
No,
It's gonna go up multi-dollars. Maybe it'll hit $10. Maybe it'll go beyond that. My only beef, and maybe there's no other way this could happen, right? My only beef is that it does disrupt all of the marketing efforts that have been in place.
I don't think so, and I'm going to explain why.
To teach people to save and to build out their ladders. And you can say no, it's not. And I'll listen to you. I mean, I'm thinking I understand what you're going to say. Is, well, 3% is better, or 4% or whatever is okay. But I'm telling you that there are a big group of new people that are now turned off by all this, right? And
that's why I'm addressing them right now, so they don't get discouraged. Because
you address them. Let's go.
So 2 things, and I'm going to show from the old people and the new people. And this is why the Dream account is so good, because like I said to people from the very beginning, I was not day one. As you guys can see here, a lot of those Dream accounts started day 253. In other words, I wasn't day one, so nobody can come at me and say, "Oh, you were lucky you're in the beginning." No, I wasn't. I missed the first 100x. I had to figure out how the staking works, and then I went in right around here, 250. That's why I built the ladder, right? August 10, 2020, right? Hex been over a year. I got in around April, May-ish after Godwell. Then I had to figure out how the staking works, do my math, and see why I want to go 15 years, right? Study the code, all that stuff. So it goes to show, even now, it says 20%. Now, the overall compounding year over year is very important. It's still like 88, 87%. Right? What does that mean? That means based on what I started with, right? Those are 2 million stake plus the overall yield. If you were to do a compounding on a yearly basis, I'm still compounding over 5 years, because it's roughly 5 years since the code being launched. Obviously, my staking was about 4 years, because it started at 253. You are at 88%. Now, granted, as the daily are going to still trending around 20%, right? I'm no longer getting 70, 80% like I used to get. I'm getting 20. But the thing is, thanks to the overall that I've been collecting for 4 years, I'm still at 87%. If this track like this every day, all the way to the end of the year, at the end of the year, this number is still going to say anywhere from 80 to 75%, because it's still going to accumulate and average out and go down. So in other words, all this time when we got all this excess free money, that was the time to be in position to get all those things down. Now, the reason why this is important is because as the price starts shooting back up, make no fucking mistake about it, people are going to EES like mofos as well. And as they EES, this number, we're going to get crazy payout. Remember what I also said, year 7 to year 8, all the people who are like break even on their, let's say they can get their principal without their interest being, they can lose all their interest and just collect the principal. They're still going to be EES. Do not underestimate the EES capability. The reason why it's not that high is because of the EES capability, because I was never, ever able to get 87%. Never, because I wasn't day one. My maximum yield was only about 60%. I used to talk about it. The reason why I got to 88 is because I have many days when I got 100%, 150%, because there was crazy EES, sometimes hack, but mainly EES. But because I'm in position for 15 years, which means I'm not losing anything. I'm catching everything. That's the key. Other example, Cream, I wasn't year 2 like you. I'm year 4. Make no problem. Okay, cool. Look at this stake right here, right? March 2022, bear market, big time. What did I do? Another 15-year stake. Well, look at that. Still today, it's still doing 10%. Overall, 35. Why? Thanks to the power of the EES. In other words, even at those very low global, keyword global APY being low, you're still getting a good deal. Now, this is the key. I'm not going to bullshit you. You got to go in. Why am I getting 10%? Because this is a 15-year stake. This is not this. If you're going to do the little 1 week and 1 month and whatever, then yes, you're going to be around here. There's no freebies anymore. You're going to be here. And by the way, this is annual APY, which means this is what you get per day. So the time of getting free shit is over. Excuse my French. Now it's
no more free ride.
No more free ride. You go 10 to 15 years, guess what? You're gonna get 10% plus, right? And then when the EES start coming in, this number is going to start rising because that's the overall number. And one more time, bond math. If this is 10%, and then all of a sudden we shoot 10x, which we could easily do because, again, liquidity is low. All of a sudden, your 10% is worth 100% because now the price just went up 10 times. So the value of your yield, the real value, the average person, they don't look at 10% like hex term, which is what this pays. They look at it dollar term. So now we were around $1.03 or 1.3 cents or 1.4 cents when this whole thing started, 1.2 to 1.3. Imagine we go to 12, 13 cents, which is easily doable. Next thing you know, boom, your yield just doubled. But now those who are getting paid are the people who are in business. They are voting with action, not just talking about, oh, I'm a Mexican. No, you are or you're not. And one more thing, why the 15 years is so important, because for those who don't know, because if you stake for 10 years, you still get those yields as well. The 15 year is so key because now you get that T-share preservation that I talk about all the time, because you get to protect your very rare T-shares for 5 more years. And this has never been more important because guess what? OA is doing 15-year stakes now, which means you get one more chance before the door closed because it's going to keep doing those stakes. There's a high chance. You see this? You see this cliff? It's still cliffing, which means there's a high chance it might just stay here right around the 3, let's say 4 APY or 3.69. And then it's just going to be a straight line. It's going to be like this. This is what you're going to see. We had the visual phase.
Unless if the price goes up by 10x, yes, you're going to see emergency end staking go up 5x maybe. And so it's gonna be a multiplier effect because the EES that you're getting paid goes up with the price, but it's paid out based on your number of T-shares. And so that's where like the force multiplier applies, where you might see something where people are getting back up. I mean, like, it's insane to say, but like it's theoretically possible that you could get back to 20 or 30% APY in hex terms if there's an insane amount of EESing that's happening where people are taking this huge haircut where they don't get their 5 years of yield. They don't get their big payday bonus because they're ending at the halfway mark of a 10-year stake with only serving 5 years.
Absolutely. And guess what? This is where the game becomes fun because if you're in position, you're going to catch those. If you're not in position, it's like what you were talking about last week. It's the money that you don't see in a chart, but it exists.
Right.
No fucking mistake about it. This is why I'm showing this to people to remember, like, people make fun of us, but we're here getting paid. Make no mistake about it. And guess what? The yield can go down, but when you get the 10x, and Maddie, one more thing. Not only this number, right, becomes 100%, right, in the math that I just explained because the price went up 10 times, right? You know what else happened? All these 88%, they all become 800% because the whole stack, let me say it again slowly, the whole stack 10x, 2.6 million to $26 million, just like that. But it's because you earn it while you're in position. That's the key. And again, the OA has a lot of those massive stake, cuatro cinco. What if, again, hypothetically, what if you decide to ES some of those too, to trickle back some money to the right people, the people who are staking, the people who are not, they're just going to be left behind. And this number is going to start ratcheting even faster because every time those weekly stake gets ended, because there's so many billions of hex, the share rate is going to get hit big time. So it's swallowing all the future thing while pushing share rate as well. And if everybody remember, the most bullish hex chart is not the hex chart. It's the T-share dollar chart. You see how at the peak it was at $10,000 almost, roughly? Well, guess what? It already rebounded and it's already doing like imagine this is like a inverse head and shoulder. So shoulder, head, and it's doing it at any time. It can just, like, it's already back to like almost $800. I can't really see it, but it's like, 823. And now with the ratcheting of the T-share plus the price going up, for those who remember what I used to say, a T-share can cost more than a Bitcoin. Like, this is it. You 10x the price, this thing is $8,000. Next thing you know, we trend towards 50 cents again. That thing's going to be 50,000. Hex is the dollar. This thing is $40,000 right here. So it's like it goes just fast, just like that. You snooze, you lose. And this is literally where the key is. So I want everybody to understand what is happening. The value is still there, the opportunity is still there, but I want to be very crystal clear. It's there for those who stake. If you don't stake, you do not get paid, period. At least, again, build your ladder. I'm trying to show you guys live, so you know it's like, oh my God, everybody lost. No. We're still in position. We're still good, and it's in hex term. If the price goes up, everybody gets paid for that. And one more thing too, if we go here and you look at the hex chart, just for fun, and this goes back to the tweet that I posted, you see the big Wyckoff accumulation pattern. You guys know me, I love weekly chart. Weekly chart is the key. You get to see where, again, rule number one, OGs, if you know, you know, DMI already crossed blue on the weekly chart. You already know, and it's doing the violent move. It start to look like this. So, and you have so much more room to go. So it's like, oh my God, we're just getting started. MACD is already in the positive side, and it's already doing, you know, the reversal. And we have actual volume. Big deal. Last time around here, this was just a cushion because the volume wasn't there. There was more, there was less selling, obviously, but it was just floor, just catching the bids. This is serious volume. I think this is the biggest volume candle we ever had on well, besides the first day. But literally, look, this candle is what? Volume is 49 million, almost 50 million. It's greater than even the freaking FUD. Dude, this was the FUD from the Enderpole FUD. The volume was 48 million. This thing is 40, almost 50 million. Basically, everybody thought, oh, it's going to go back down. Nah. Reversal. And the bull flag from this pattern here is already here, pointing at what? 11 and 11 cents, 11.73. So something like it goes here, new high, pit stop probably around 5 cents, because it's literally what Hex did last time. It loved the number 5. So we might do pit stop 5 cents, chill for a little bit, do maybe something like this, and then we're going to go to the double digits. But make no mistake about it, it's going to happen fast. Like, this is a weekly chart. We went up 35%. It's only Tuesday. We're already up 31%. What do you think is going to happen by Sunday? Like, this is how insane this is. And then the liquidity keeps getting smaller and smaller. The staking is in position. And by the way, the OA can just also just good account also the 250 billion Hex and just chill. So there's so many options that you can do, or just keep ratcheting the T-share rate, which most likely I think is going to happen. So
in my list of 6 to 7 things that could happen, did I say the OA buying is one of those?
Ooh, I don't think you did. That's another good one. That's another good one.
That's like the one thing that happened before.
Right?
All right,
and
cool.
Look at
Add
this
that to
horizontal
the
line
list.
that I put here just for fun.
That should have been number 1.
Hey, we could literally be there by Q2. Hex could be double digit. And this is when the real FOMO starts. Because now, this is why I'm about to blow everybody's mind. Okay. I'm going to go back to an OG chart. Okay. This is OG of OG. This is the Hex ETH charts from back in the day. Oh, and I even have the Hex BTC chart. Okay. There's things that I want to show you guys, which I think is important. I got to redraw it. I call it the 3 clocks. We passed the 3 clocks, right? So clock number 1 was here. I'm just going to do it fast. You know, we passed that. The pump happened. Clock number 2 was this one roughly here. We passed that, pumped out. Clock number 3, it's kind of like, you know, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3, right? Look, we break out of that. That means from here, especially with this support, bro, you could literally wake up next week and then you see a candle like this pushing higher. Now, the reason why this is OG, because back in the day when I first got into Hex, right, there was no USD. It was all Hex to ETH ratio. And why is this important? Because like I said, I think we're doing a replay of 2021 where it's like we got so oversold in ETH term. People are like, oh my God, we're pumping so hard. We haven't even begun to pump, guys. Like, don't even get it twisted. The party hasn't even started yet. This is preloading. Like, look, this is literally how high this thing went. And this is Hex to ETH ratio, move as a function of a square. We have thousands and percent. Like literally, we could do 100x, and then if Ethereum then decide to go to 8K or whatever, we'll pick up another 50x just like that, just as a gift. But if Ethereum doesn't move and stay around where it's at now or 3K, we can still do 100x without Ethereum's help. Now, let me explain a couple of things, which is very important. This right here, I'm gonna draw some lines because I don't know, my shit reloaded. This right here, I call it, I'm gonna put it in orange. This is when Godwell got in. We're literally doing the pre-Godwell pattern right now. Hex got to the low, all-time low. Shout out to, what is it, Matty? Day 63 or whoever. There's an OG name like that caught the bottom, whatever. And then we did the
Day
little
43
flag
OG.
up. Day 43, exactly. OG right here. Then we did the little flag up. Then we consolidated, and then boom, Godwell came in, and then the party started from here. So we got this horizontal line. We got, let's just say, when the real party right here, boom, we got another one here, because that was a consolidation before we got close to big payday. This is when we got the first FUD, and then this is where we got the Uniswap money, right? We got the Uniswap money right around here, and then we ran for big payday. I remember that. This peak right here is when we got the nice Christmas, end of the year, 2 cents penny. I remember that. We had a godly candle, 100% in one day. That was so cool. And this is when we fully break everything out, and then we went this is when Godwell did the sacrifice money for PulseChain. But the cool part is this. Remember what I put here, okay? Most important thing. This is where Godwell got it. After we accumulated everything on the low and then shooting everything up. We haven't even got there yet, guys. This is how crazy it is. Oh, and this is the SEC FUD. I gotta put that one too. Right around here. Because that's why we had the nice PulseChain doubling. And then this is where also people are like, oh my God, PHEX is better than EHEX, doing all the dumb shit right here. A lot of volume. But look, those three has been broken out. We haven't even touched the Godwell zone. And just to give everybody perspective, right? This is 120%, okay? Roughly, before we even get to that zone. And this is the force multiplier, move as a function of the square. So that means that we can literally 2x the price. If Ethereum never move 15,000 Gwei, we could double it to 30,000 Gwei. We can literally do a 4x on the price. And that's with Ethereum just staying at 2,600, not even doing nothing. Then when he gets here, holy shit, you can get a God candle, just like God, or like this. And then all of a sudden, we're back to where we belong. If we go back to just roughly where we were before the FUD of the EXPX drama, we're talking, I mean, I can't make this shit up. We're talking 2,000%, 21x, 21x. In hex to ETH ratio. Let me say it again. Hex to ETH ratio, which means it's 42x price in USD. Square that. So it's like, bro, what you talking about going to 10 cents? This ratio just get somewhere here or here, and we're 10 cents hex. Who's gonna stop us? Liquidity is low. Staking has already took care of business. Long-term players are taken care of just fine. They're not gonna hate their bag just multiplying. It's like, and then my tree dragon has been broken. First one, second one, third one. We're literally watching the third one live right now. The next, if you were to draw just a little resistance, maybe here, there's something going on here. But other than that, it's ready to go. If you look at Hex BTC, I drew a couple ones here too. Looks the same. Broke down, popping. It looks like it wants to go back to where it belongs. I mean, literally, look how low it is. It's insane. Like, it's so insane. Just to put in perspective, after the big payday, when everybody crashed the price like crazy, we're still well below that. That's how insane it is. Based on the Godwell pump, we're still well below that. Same thing, Hex ETH, because technically Godwell used Ethereum. He didn't use Bitcoin. We're literally on the walking path. We're here. We can literally moon another 150%, which should bring us right around the 3.5, 4 cents, 5 cents range, and then the LP over here, LP over here, this number is going to be somewhere around 300 million or something like that, which gets even lower. And then from there, you can just send it. And then it's like game over. Like you can't make this shit up. And then one more thing here, when you look at Ethereum price, it's not really going anywhere. But the most important thing is it's Bitcoin. Because right now, I have too many indicators, so I can't draw it. But like, if you were to draw a parabola or the banana zone, Bitcoin is getting very, very close to that falling out of the parabola that we love to talk about, because obviously that's how you know when the bull market is over. I know it's an unpopular topic because everybody's telling you, and the influencers tell you, oh, we're going back to 100K. They don't understand that Bitcoin has been pumping literally since 15,000. Since here.
Lower than that.
Exactly. They think they're just going to go up forever.
Grayscale discount.
Exactly. Let's not forget. And by the way, there's a CME gap around $78,000 too. Now, again, I'm not wishing for Bitcoin to go down because we're going to win regardless. But even when you look at the VPVR right now, there's more selling pressure above current price than lower price. The shorts are in position. And obviously, Ethereum is at the mercy of Bitcoin. But the good news is, if this thing falls out of the parabola, that's the signal usually for Ethereum to run. And what a coincidence. There's a macro event next week. February 18 is the consensus, Ethereum consensus conference. So if this thing falls out of the parabola, look at ETH BTC. Not only the ratio is here, but it's very close to like the lows of before. So it should be starting to make a bottom. And sorry, again, I have too many indicators, but if anybody chart ETH BTC right now and look at the RSI on the monthly, it's literally oversold. In the entire history of ETH BTC, this thing has never been this much oversold. Never. So anybody in the chat, you can verify it. ETH BTC, chart it, put the RSI and the MACD. That thing isn't oversold. That it has never been this oversold before. It's literally in the gutter. And it looks like it wants to form a bottom. Now, make no mistake about it. Bottoming formation is very volatile. But it looks like it's closer to the end, which means if Bitcoin falls out of a parabola and you got consensus next week, Ethereum might pull a move like this. Just like before. Rains, boom, and then trying to, maybe they make an upgrade. Maybe they actually listen to Richard, right? And they start fixing some of the bullshit they've been doing, giving away all the things to the L2s and whatever. And maybe, you know, the powers that be start to buy more ETH, you know, because Trump is definitely buying it. And I know how big money works. There is all-time high record of short on Ethereum right now. This is exactly what big money did to Bitcoin for the 20K top. They shorted the fuck out of it. No matter how much retail trying to buy it, you can't beat them. They have more money than you, and they can short it, and they short it all the way to 3,000 because that's where they want to accumulate. They don't like when Ethereum is 3K because they didn't get to accumulate at the low the same way they did for Bitcoin because we front run them, rightfully so, because we knew after the Bitcoin ETF, it would be the Ethereum ETF. So they want to push it as much down as possible to accumulate at the low, and then they'll release the pressure. But at any time, this thing can reverse, just run over here. So if Bitcoin falls out of the parabola, ETH can catch a bid. And if ETH catch a bid, while at the same time, Hex to ETH ratio is doing marvelous thing over here. I mean, the timing couldn't be any perfect, guys. It's literally 2021 all over again. And by the way, even if ETH doesn't move, if we just keep messing up with the Hex ETH ratio, we can just send it. We don't need to wait for ETH. I'm just saying that if this play out and the ETH BTC reversal comes in, guys, we're going to dollar plus, like no bullshit. I'm talking serious. And that can happen in a matter of literally 3 to 4 months because that's what we did last time. We went to 50 cents from a penny in a matter of literally 4 months. And that can be run again. And this time around, there is even less selling pressure in the way. And we have more money to deploy. Because first time we did this, Ethereum, for those who don't remember, was somewhere here in the $200. I remember we had a major crash. I bought Ethereum at $80. I got lucky. And then we started going to run. And then we caught this run too. This time around, the COVID crash, so to speak, is basically maybe what we're dealing with right now. Powers that be might trying to send Ethereum back to $2,000 just one last time, just so that they can accumulate one more time before sending it higher. But it's wait and see at this point. But this is
Green, you mentioned a couple minutes ago that there's the Ethereum conference this month.
Yes, February 18th. Consensus.
Is that a bullish thing usually? Like
usually, yes. But the way they do it, it is very bullish because every time they pump it, but they always end up doing like a buy the rumor, sell the news because they're gonna announce because this is when Ethereum, all the work that the devs been working on for Ethereum for the past year or so, they usually save that to make a big announcement because they gotta have something to talk about. Make sense? Now, usually what market likes to do is front run, right? They'll pump it 2-3 days prior. Oh my God, the conference is coming. Consensus, blah, blah, blah. Because consensus is very close to the Ethereum Foundation and stuff like that. Now, you would hope that they have something cool to talk about. Because last time, this is what actually helped pump the Hex to, ETH ETH BTC ratio. Because if you remember, right around, I can get this right around here, this is February, March. This is where that conference happened. And then they announced the big thing. And then right by March, boom, it shoot up. That's when they had the famous.
Well, hold on. So Consensus last year was in Austin, Texas in May, at the end of May. And Consensus this year moved internationally, and you're right that it's going to be happening next week. But remember, Consensus is an event that's put on by CoinDesk, and it's about middle of the road in terms of like technical people and business people. But like the more extreme, like developer type conference that you're going to get once a year, there's going to be 2 of them. It's permissionless, which I went to. And then ETH Denver is happening at the end of this month, and I might go to that one too because
ETH Denver,
because that's the one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one where like Vitalik's going to be there and that kind of stuff. And that's like I said, at the end of this month.
Perfect, Matty, because
Denver's end of this month.
Around here because it was the same time. This is about February right here, end of February to first week of March. That's when they had a conference, and then they made the big announcement, and boom, it shoot up. It's almost the same play. They sold it like crazy. They tell you it's the worst thing, whatever. Meanwhile, BlackRock's and the boys still buying it, right? And then once they make their big announcement, they bought it literally under the 200 moving average, and then they just send it back. It's just literally. And one more thing, I don't know if you guys know this. One of the reasons why ETH got destroyed price-wise, it's also a little bit of manipulation, but for us, it's a joke because we've been telling that to people for a while. This is why we don't do crazy leverage, but people never learn. People like Colin Moons are getting rinsed, and then they're like, oh my God, what happened? Turns out, breaking news, for those who don't know, Binance is being cut. They were the ones selling. They sold 99%, bro. 99% of their ETH. 90% of their Solana. Yeah, look it up. Ask people in the chat. I saw a report that was saying that, and then they didn't deny it. They said, oh, we're just doing a portfolio rebalancing. Get the fuck out of here. They sold most of their Bitcoin. They sold almost all of their ETH in the reserve, and they sold most or all of their Solana. Bro, this is one of the reasons why the price also having a hard time bouncing because they've been just murdering the price down. And the reason why they also do that, for those who are still naive, not understanding, is that's how they get people fucking liquidated. The biggest liquidation that happened 2 weeks ago was on Binance, bro. $8 to $10 billion wiped out. All the people who got their gains, let me get the Bitcoin chart. Imagine all the people who made money since a year and a half ago, catching the Bitcoin low from anywhere from 15, 20,000, all that. They lost everything, bro. Everything. And then now they got to wait for 120K, bro. Good luck. Because when people manipulate like that and they have so much money that they can just dump on you because they know all of your stops, they know all of your liquidation, they just murder you. And they tell you, oh, it's Trump. Trump is just the excuse. Just like I said last week, don't fall for the FUD and the BS. They wanted to fucking liquidate you. They just need an excuse. And they're using Trump as the excuse. The same way when Bitcoin's going to fall out of the parabola, they're going to use Trump as an excuse again and say, oh, it's tariff, it's this, it's that. Tariffs has nothing to do with crypto. Okay? That has nothing to do with that. It's just like, no. But for the real altcoin season to come in, which is why they're getting murdered right now, you need quantitative easing to start. And you need the Fed to stop, like, taking money off the market but adding more money. That is true. And that Federal Powell just said today, he's not in a rush. Rightfully so. Why the fuck would he? Inflation is still bad. It's still close to 3%. Why would he negate all the hard work he's been doing? And by the way, another breaking news for those who don't know, tomorrow it's CPI reading. It's supposed to be 0.3. If that shit comes down worse than expected, holy shit, red day, get ready. But the cool thing is for Hex, this is where we get to shine because just like it happened last time around, everybody was getting murdered. People were crying. They were looking for the shining city, right? Many people forget why we got that nickname. We got that nickname because we remember everything was getting murdered. Everything was getting murdered. Even that's why probably why Godwell got in because it's like, I'm tired of my ETH to go down because this is what happened. ETH was over here, $1,300, went down. Oh, it's nothing to worry about. Bounce, went down over here, went down. And right around here, that's when people start to lose faith. They're like, why is this thing so low? And then he went all the way down here to $80. We bought this. They were like, oh, we're coming back. And then this happened again. And people say, fuck this. And this is right around then when Hex started really to fly, right? Because we launched around here, December 19th, right? Somewhere around December 3rd, somewhere around here, that week right here. Boom, December 2nd, 3rd. Then we got COVID. And then people say, we're done with Ethereum, because if you're an Ethereum guy at the time, you watch the top and you were down basically what, 91% on your money. You're like, the hell with this thing. So, and then you were more open-minded, and then you discover Hex, and then the rest is history. It's the same thing. People are over here be like, oh my God, since the last top, and we failed to make a new high, we're down roughly what, 48, 50%. Yes, it's only 48%, but we were down here, and then we failed to make a new high. Then we were also down where Bitcoin already made a new high and ran. So people are like, holy shit, compared to Bitcoin, we lost so much because we returned everything here that we gained against Bitcoin from 3 years ago. Like it lost 67%. That's insane. That's the real loss. Because during the bull market, you don't care about dollar term. You care about ratio, how much you lost in ratio term. So now I think the Ethereum bro are just about fed up. And guess what? Perfect marketing. If we start to pump hard, bro, they're going to come. They're going to come just like last time. And they're going to come play with Hex. And then once we get the recovery, shit, we're good. Everything else was red. And U.S. market is doing really well. It's not like U.S. market is doing bad. Look, gold's been doing all-time high, chilling. But Bitcoin is not able to do that. Why? Because Binance and the board are manipulating the market, bro. It's so fucking obvious. It's so fucking obvious because they want to liquidate people, which they fucking did, 8 to 10 billion. And then now people got no money. And because they got no money, they can drop the price down, reaccumulate everything that they sold, right? Think about it. If you sold near the top, or let's say Ethereum, you sold right around here, around the 3K, because that's when the manipulation started. And then that's when they got that crazy wick all the way down to 2,200, right? Right around here, they were selling heavily. And then they murdered the price here. And then if you see here, now they are the shorts. If you look at the VPVR, you get to see. Now, there's a little bit of support here, around 2,500. But if that support fail, bro, there's nothing here, bro. Nothing. That means the same way you see this crazy wick, 2,500, right around this fib, it's the line in the sand. If Ethereum lose 2,500, it's over. Now, it could stay here. But if Bitcoin decides to go to 91,000 and below, well, what do you think Ethereum is going to do? It's going to fall and then fail to hold the 200 moving average. It's game over. And then from here, altcoins going to get murdered even more. But I think that's when the Hex ETH ratio is going to keep murdering the price. And then we're going to be like the only shining city. Again, I'm not wishing that to happen to Ethereum, but the game is set, guys. And tomorrow is CPI reading. They better pray it's not bad. Because if it's bad, this guy is definitely going to shit the bed. And this guy clearly, it already entered the Gosling channel last week and decision candle. But it's still closed red, weekly chart. Because you know me, I don't do daily, weekly. Look, on the week so far, it looks red. And this wick is so long, it looks like he wants to go back there to test it. Because why the hell not? And this is where the 92K is. And if you draw the parabola, we're still within the parabola. But if it goes down here around 85 or 90 below and start touching those lower level here, it's falling out of the parabola. Now, the good news is there's still support right now. But look, there's more red than blue. There's more selling than buying. It's obvious. The bids are low. And where the price
is really important, people. You
Yep.
have 255 watching live on YouTube, and you're being told literally the hack to understand when crypto peaked last cycle was Bitcoin falling out of the parabola. And spoiler, Hex went up after that occurred.
Yep.
Not
Big
only
time.
before. So this is important stuff. And this is why people, I think, are tuning in record numbers for our recent, the recent times is because we have huge price appreciation. We have the most important week in game theory ever in terms of things being actualized. So yeah, really appreciate the viewership and hit the like and subscribe button and follow all the people who are speakers on the channel. We got another, usually we go about another hour from here.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Maddie, for doing this. And again, guys, what we're saying here is like, we're not wishing it to happen. We're just letting you know what the probabilities are. And again, tapping with the macro, because the whole manipulation, and they're going to use Trump as an scapegoat, it's going to keep happening because, again, they're just getting started, especially, with Doge and Elon. They haven't even touched the Department of Defense. Just wait the drama you're going to hear. It's about to be crazy. They're finding so much fraud. It's hilarious. But anyway, I digress. So it's like the volatility is nowhere near. Look at this candle, bro. It went as high as 102, low as 91. Even if you're a trader, what's called the block principle, which, again, my indicator shows me here. That means the price can swing from here all the way down to here on a regular weekly basis. It's crazy. And this is why you see there's more red than blue, which means there's more selling. People selling, either running shorts or just like, hey, I bought it at 91,000. I don't believe it's going to go to 90 or to 102. I'm just willing to sell it right around here. And right now it looks red and it's only Tuesday. If tomorrow is bad news and this thing started to trend down here and you lose, there's less volume down here. The buying is basically disappearing over here. And then people start to panic. It's game over. And one more thing, you guys got lucky here. That little pump. What was that? That was Michael Saylor. He bought 700 million plus just yesterday. And guess what? The candle is still red. When the biggest buyer is buying, but it's barely doing anything, that tells you that if tomorrow the news is bad, you're getting rinsed. And if you get rinsed and you fall out of the parabola, bro, we're going to be tweeting that shit because we're just going to let you know. Now, we're not there yet. Maybe we get lucky, this thing reverse, and we go. But make no mistake about it. If the line in the sand is 90K, if this shit breaks and goes to 90K, forget about it. Because at that point, usually when Bitcoin enter the Gosling channel like that, strong, and don't pop out right away like this, it always go to the middle and then touch the low. But this time around, if it touches the low, I don't wish it to happen, but if it touches the low, it's the typical falling out of the parabola. And I mean, sorry, but it's going back down. And then at that point, we're going to start drawing the 618 retracement from the top and then figure out what that number is. Again, we're not wishing that to happen, but if this bad news, this goes down, breaks out of the parabola, if BTC actually might do a recovery, which is good because usually when Bitcoin top, Ethereum gets, what is it, Matty? Another 21 days to run typically. And it looks like it's in position to want to do that. We got conferences next week. We got another one at the end of the month where Matty's going. So macro-wise, it looks like timing-wise, if should be doing something, again, should be, but we don't know. That's the thing, because they're dealing with their own drama too. So, but if BTC looks like it wants to bounce, it's wait and see, but it looks like it wants to bounce. And make no mistake about it. You see the VPVR, the buying is definitely here. There is support. They're trying to catch that. But we'll have to wait and see. And one more thing why I think the ETH BTC could do good is because the Bitcoin dominance is looking toppy right now, which is good. And again, this is the same formation we saw previous cycle, okay? What does that mean? Kareem, what do you mean? Okay, cool. It means this. Rising wedge, falling out of the wedge, going down, making everybody think, oh my God, this is it all season. Fake out, rinse everybody. This is what Binance, they got everybody fucked. And then it goes down. Where have I seen this before? Well, let me go back. Let me show you. Same shit. Imagine this is a rising wedge, right? I'm trying to draw it a little bit to show you guys. Just doing a little fast version. Imagine this was the rising wedge, right? More or less. Same thing. Big rising wedge. Fell out, trying to do a video. Oh my God, alt season. But then it went back up and it created slightly, even though it's a wick, it did do a new high on the dominance. Look, this wick here is higher than this guy. So in other words, rising wedge, everybody's paying attention, fell out of the wedge, trying to do the retest, get shorted. Everybody thinks here, oh my God, it's alt season. And then we get washed out one last time. But then after the new high, because it creates a shooting star, then he went down and then boom, alt season.
So double bubble Bitcoin last time, huh?
Exactly. And it looks like that right now in a smaller version is we got the rising wedge. We did the retest, right? And then everybody thought this is it. And then we got cleaned out. But now look at this long wick, create a new high, but now it's red. It needs to continue to go down. But that's why it's wait and see. Because if tomorrow we get bad news, watch out. Because Bitcoin dominance can actually go up again. I know people, that's not what people want to hear. But if we get bad news and Bitcoin get rinsed, You know, it could go up now, or Ethereum start announcing some good shit in a while, so we get the bad news. Bitcoin falls out of the parabola, and everybody's FOMO into ETH. That would be the ideal scenario, and then Bitcoin dominance go back this way because ETH BTC is rising back up, which is good, and go back to the 003 and above. But again, tomorrow is CPI. CPI is a big deal. It's a big freaking deal. If we don't get what we need, oh man, see you later. If we get what we need, then Powell can lower rate next month, because he's clearly said it today. I listened to it. There was a Senate committee thing. I know people don't watch that, but I watch everything. And then he clearly said, we're not in a rush. He got quoted. We're not in a rush to lower interest rate. Why would he? He's still dealing with inflation. He's looking good right now. And because every rest of the world already lowered their yield, Europe clearly lowered it, China clearly lowered it, then everybody's flooding to America to buy the dollar because everybody got 1% or 0% yield. We're the only one with 4.5. So they're coming to us. This is the reason why DXY is screaming right now, high. But technically speaking, thank God last week that got rejected. DXY seems to have topped. And if it topped, it might do like a circle here. It might do this move. If we do this move, bullish for crypto. We're gonna pump like motherfuckers. But we need to make sure it goes down. If it fakes out and goes up because we got bad news, that's not gonna be good. The same way.
What's going on with gold?
Perfect timing. Gold is going up right now because China and Europe are lowering their rate like crazy and printing money like mofos. This is the reason why everybody's fleeing to dollar. But for the Chinese market, they're buying gold. Heavy buying. All this buying is coming from the Chinese market.
New all-time high, huh?
Yep, because they're running away from their currency. Now, technically speaking, Bitcoin wants to be what gold is to the Chinese right now. Because in terms of uncertainty and money printing, you want to be like that. But unfortunately, Bitcoin is still seen as a high risky asset because of this heavy correlation to the stock market. This is the reason why the Chinese investor would rather just go to gold, because they know that China is printing money like crazy because the economy is not doing well. And they know that the threat with the tariffs and whatever, because, you know, everything that Trump is doing to help America, rightfully so, is now, you know, hurting a little bit the rest of the world. But America has been, no offense, fucked in the ass for so long. They're just, you know, even in the playing field. So by doing so, every other market is getting hit because, you know, tariffs are coming in. You know, remember, he just passed the tariff for aluminum and steel, 25%. Well, guess what? All those markets, China, wherever, they're suffering from that too. So now, if you're the Chinese investor and the market is not doing well, you got two options. You either go to Bitcoin or you go to gold. The reason why you go to gold is because you probably have too much money and you think Bitcoin is a little risky because there's a lot of manipulation going on. So, and historically, like I showed you guys last time, gold pumped first, then it went sideways, and then Bitcoin catch up. Remember, I used to show people, look at the chart of gold, it should be the chart of Bitcoin. So if we're lucky and the data is good tomorrow, this should be what Bitcoin is going to do. In other words, visualize this and then visualize that, saying that where we are now at 95,000 is basically, it should be, keyword should be, we don't know, is basically where gold was here. You want a reversal right around here. Maybe enter the Gosling a little bit, and then $2,600 gold is $95,000 Bitcoin. And $2,800 gold is basically the target, which is the famous $130,000 Bitcoin that we've been quoting for a while from the bull flag, which is right around here. Now, that's what it should happen, and we'll go towards the blow off top. If we're lucky, we may get an extension all the way to 185, like Grok been saying and all the AI. But if we're not lucky and the data is bad tomorrow and you fail out of the parabola, it's game over. Because Maddie, you know, the higher you go and closer to the parabola, the faster you pump, but also the more deadly and unforgiving the chart becomes. Because when you're like here, you can go sideways for a while. But when you move to the next wave, you can only go sideways for this much, not all the way here. Because the longer you go sideways, you're going to fall out of the parabola because he has to go higher and higher. Make sense? All the way to the top. And then after that, it's the tippy top. And then see you later to down. But you see, right now, Bitcoin's not looking good because they're getting scared. It's 10 p.m. right now Eastern. They're getting scared about the CPI tomorrow, and the manipulation is in full effect. So if we're lucky, they might just wick people down and then pump back up. But this week is a critical week for Bitcoin. Full stop, end of story. So that's
there's more. Yeah, I think there's more shorts on Ethereum now than ever in history.
Yes, very, very ever. And then the ETH BTC chart, again, for those watching, put the RSI on this. On the monthly, it's oversold. It had never been oversold its entire existence, Matty. ETH BTC chart ratio has never been RSI oversold before. Now, somebody can say, Kareem, because it's oversold like that, it means it might stay at the bottom for a while. Or somebody can say, Kareem, it's mad bullish, because if it's oversold this much and ETH is still at $2,600 roughly, instead of basically, going all the way back down to, the 2Ks and below, that's a bullish thing. But then again, it's wait and see, because guess what? ETH is still Bitcoin's bitch at the end of the day. I'm sorry. So if Bitcoin shit the bed, this guy will shit the bed too. Hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully we pull up a Bitcoin move, a gold move, sorry.
Right.
See how like on the monthly, so we can have red, but then like a small red and then up. Because right now, BTC is doing the first red. Hold on, gotta zoom up. See, we got the big green. Big green, we got one red. As long as the monthly chart, it's very important, I'm zooming for you guys. As long as the monthly chart does not close below the previous month, which is already around 93K, 93.5, that's okay. It's still technically bullish on the monthly, and then next month we can go. This is why I say 91, 92K, whatever, 91,000, or even just say 90 to 92 is a critical zone. Critical. If we fail here, bye-bye, game over.
But then will we get another bubble later in the year for Bitcoin, or is that game over for this cycle?
It's the famous falling out of parabola, Matty, because that parabola has been going since the 15K bottom. Look at this. I have too many indicators, so I can't chart it.
I mean, if people got to buy Bitcoin for half off with the GBTC premium, it's almost like we're already at 200K.
Exactly. Imagine watch
and
my
if
cursor.
if you double the 108 that we got up to, what Richard Hart's guess for this cycle was like 225 or 230. So I mean that's real close right there.
Yeah. And look what I charted last time. Textbook, and then Richard, and now we call it literally on the day. Look, I put the pitchfork, which shows the parabola. This is on the monthly, and then we fell off the parabola. And once we fell off the parabola, we knew it was game over. This was just like the double top retest, but then it didn't go back in. This is another pitchfork, which kind of shows parabola. But if you were to draw the actual, you can do another pitchfork here, but I got too many indicators, I can't add it. But even if you were to draw a parabola, Steven Swenson has a good parabola that shows it. Basically, it's like you go like this, and kind of go toppy right around here. So you can't have another month of sideways. If you do, it's bad. It's going to start breaking the parabola. It has to go up. Literally, or at the very least, this month needs to close above the 93. Do not create a bearish candle that engulfed the previous one. And then you hope and pray that the next one is a little bit higher, or at least back to 103. And then the next one is where we go to new all-time high. But right now, it's in a critical zone. We're halfway through the month. There's still time. Again, we're talking probability here. Big news tomorrow. CPI is gonna give the trend. If CPI is good tomorrow, we might avoid some of the danger. If CPI is no good tomorrow and Bitcoin start trending back towards 91K, bro, that means that if the CPI is bad, that means don't expect a rate cut in March, because right now the market is pricing a rate cut next month, which is bullish for Bitcoin. The moment they think it's not going to happen, because let's say CPI is bad tomorrow, meaning like too much inflation, bro, watch out below. You better close your position, all this other stuff. You know what I mean? We're going to be good regardless, because I think Hex-ETH ratio is going to just take care of business. But if we get good reading and Bitcoin pump and ETH can run towards 3K again, we're just going to get to where we need to go faster. We're going to get another extra 50X. But if it goes down, then, at least we're going to be the shining city in the hill when everything is getting burned. So at least we get two scenarios for tomorrow. Again, we don't know which one is going to happen until the print happen. But make no mistake about it. Be in position, get your T-shares, back to the main topic, and understand that the cat is out of the bag over here, because this thing is going. And this is Hex BTC. Hex ETH going. no matter what you do, you still got time. Because once we pass this orange zone here, I call it the Godwell zone. There's no, again, this is speculation. There's no reason why, since he FOMO pumped it right around here last time, why wouldn't he do it again? The same way right around big payday, he started buying 100, he started doing market buy 100 ETH, pumping hex like crazy. Why wouldn't he do it? Because guess what? Godwell stakes just got protected too, just like everybody else, because he got a lot of Quattro Cincos too. People forget that. He got 1 billion hex Quattro Cinco. Yes, there's a little, issue with the what they call the bank hex situation, but he still got shit ton of hex and he got Quattro Cincos. So this move also protects him. So why wouldn't he just send it just like he did last time? Because we're in a walkway right now. We're walking towards that zone, and then we might consolidate and then pop. So if you knew, or if you think, oh my God, X is overpriced, bro, we haven't even begun. We haven't even begun. This is why I want to show people this. Hex ETH. It has nothing to do with USD. Because tomorrow, God forbid, if Bitcoin shit the bed, Ethereum shit the bed, and then you see Hex going down a little bit in price in USD, don't panic. This is the chart you want to see. Ratio. We're going up clearly. It's not going down. So remember that. It's oversold like crazy. And right now, it's on the path to clear this zone and go back to the next zone. And those are hundreds of percent, which means we can easily go back to 3-4 cents. And by the time we get here, somebody can just come in and do a big ass market buy. And then all of a sudden, Hex is the 4 or 5 cents. Next thing you know, you blink next week and then it's 10 cents. Because it loves to do move like that. Hex loves to do 30, 40, 50% move. When you're in the low pennies, it looks like it's nothing. When you 3, 4, 5 cents, 30, 40, 50% move, those are 2, 3 penny move. It's not the same thing. So when the FOMO kicks in and you get left behind, you get exponentially left behind. And you can come in with 6 figures. There's no way you're going to be able to buy like 10 million Hex. It's going to become so expensive so fast. You'll be like, the same million Hex you could buy for pennies on the dollars. Now you might need like 100K, 200,000 just to get like, 10 million Hex. So yeah, thanks for the long-term rent. But today, like I said, I tweeted out today, I got cookies today. So, but yeah, celebration. I even brought this.
Hey.
Yes, you drink it on stream, but I don't know. Abdoul, you want to drink? Pull out a drink. So I can't drink by myself. So keep it with the juice right now. But yeah.
Cheers.
X.com.
Crispy turned into a squirrel.
Respect it.
With a top hat.
Everybody got relegated. I'm a dolphin now. Struggling. I'm a struggling dolphin. I'm in the 10 to 15 percentile, less than 20%.
Right.
Even Godwell is a super shark now.
That is
Oh,
funny.
shit. Well, I don't know about that. Godwell has over 1 million t-shirts, so I think he's still a whale.
He'll do it.
No, Mighty, it's a factor of 10. Oh, he got there's 33 million t-shirts, almost 34. We were about 8 million and change. That means those addresses combined have somewhere around 20 million t-shirt plus 23, which means even if you have 1 million, you're in the lower category because the top category has 20 million.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's still going to be okay.
Yeah. We're going to have to create a new category.
Right? Well, that's why I love Hedron. We're going to talk about B-Share soon. You know what I mean? That's going to be good. It's going to be awesome. Somebody saying in the chat, Bitcoin.
Fast Abdoul has like this interesting Hex related pool that has pretty much the juiciest APY you can get in Hex now. Do you want to break that down for people, Fast Abdoul? I know we've talked about it before, but I think it's more relevant now.
Yep. So the farming narrative's changed in the PulseChain because there's a lot less ink coming out and the APRs have gone way down. So I made a pool on Fux, and it's on 2Fux, obviously, that is paying 91% on Hex paired with Hex from PulseChain paired with Hex from Ethereum. And then I included Maximus DAO tokens from both Ethereum and PulseChain. It's called the Hex Parity Maxi Pool, and it's paying 91.71%. 42% of that 91% is just made up from swap fees, right?
Nice.
So, which that's the trade-off on, you know, potential and permanent loss. But if everything keeps moving up, it doesn't look so bad. I said,
and that's paid in Hex. That's paid in the underlying tokens.
In the underlying tokens. So 42.67% of that is paid to you in Hex and Maxi tokens, in Lucky tokens and Deci tokens on both chains, right? So it's not bad stuff to accumulate, in my opinion, not financial advice.
Wow.
And then the remainder of that you're getting in PHUX and 2 PHUX tokens as bonus yield because it is a farm. But the swap fees alone, right? Just the compounding Hex inside that pool, 42%, that was better than the previous 38% that we talked about with Hex. So I think if this one's a win, there is potential in permanent loss if the E side goes up faster or the P side goes up faster. But if you're in this pool for a while, I suspect you could do quite well.
Wow. So we don't have to change the stickers.
Right?
Not necessarily. Well, we might have
We
to
just have to, just have to
but
direct people to the right place.
indeed. So it's there's a learning curve. I want everybody do your homework before you enter this pool. It's not a V2 PulseX type pool. It's on Fux.io, which is a fork of Balancer. It has 8 assets in it instead of 2, which is partly why those swap fees are so high, because this pool with 8 assets does the equivalent swapping of a pool of 28 V2 pools in a normal V2 scenario. It's like you just made 28 pools when you enter this pool. And that's why the fees are so very high that it collects at 42% of the 91% APR. So there's a little bit of a learning curve in how you enter the pool. You enter it on phux.io, and then once you have the LP token, you can deposit on to phux.io to get more bonus yield. But you have to look at the slippage numbers when you enter the pool. If you just enter with one of the assets, you're going to pay slippage because it's going to swap it for the other assets. You need to have it balanced properly. There's tools on Fux to show you how to balance it properly. Or hit me up on Telegram if you have any questions, because this is not the new guy pool, but it is paying you to learn at 91%, in my opinion.
Wow,
that's freaking awesome. No, good stuff. And then again, shout out to everybody in the chat. I'm catching all the messages. You guys are so awesome. And then
Oh, hey Kareem, there was a country that launched a meme coin this week.
It's funny. My country.
Oh, serious.
It's supposed to be a national coin, but this is funny. Hey, at least crypto. But it's like, bro, they don't even. Nah, I don't want to talk shit. Anyway, the problem is that there's so many insiders that get the coin. I just hope the country don't get finessed. And I mean, we definitely got the natural resources, but I mean, it helps for the GDP. So, you know what I mean? GDP is like less than 3 billion. So it's like, if I was watching a quote, I found it on Twitter. What's his name? The guy that always do the Twitter. He's famous for doing a lot of Twitter. What's it called?
Mario Nafwa.
Mario, yeah, space. That's why I saw it there. So it's like, hey, the GDP is about 3 billion or less, and then you can create a meme coin that can create $1 billion market cap. Then hey, why not? But I'm apprehensive.
There was like I think when I checked, there was like $800 million of volume. Korean.
Yes, bro. You got the Chinese in there. You got the Russians in there. Listen, we have the natural resources. They can find what. I'm just worried about the country, like how much percentage of the coin they actually have. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's that much. But,
right. The traders could have profited more than the country. And that's the part of the problem with meme coins is sometimes it's hard to tell, especially like for the broader market or for the person even creating the meme coin. It's hard to tell when to sell and how high it's going to go and all the day one FOMO factors that kick in. Is sometimes it's going to the right cause and sometimes it's not.
Exactly. That's what I'm worried about. But I think overall it's good for the country in terms of awareness, because then when I go back and I can talk about crypto, because some people like crypto, they still don't really get it. They understand it when I explain it in obviously very simple term, and I explain about the cell phone minute thing, because we do that a lot back home. They use that as basically bank because they always need to call and you can make the transfer. So it works almost like money. And we don't have like plans in America where you can just pay like, $100, $80 a month. I mean, it's finesse at its best, man. You can literally buy like a credit to charge on your phone to call, and you paying roughly, if I were to do the math right, you pay almost $1 a minute, bro. So it's like you be putting like $50, you get like 10,000 credit, yeah, but that $50 will last you like a week. Like it's crazy. So you don't get like, oh, you're gonna plan. So it's like because it's monopoly. They got the telecom over there. So it's like that's one thing that sucks. But overall, I think just crypto country is doing it. Wallet, boom. So I can come back and one day, hey, Hex, this, that, onboard people in, get the influence. It's kind of like if they do CBDC, at least we can say, hey, don't do that crap. Come here. You're into crypto already. Let me show you the better one. So yeah. But yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Great question. Somebody asked, great question. Why would a whale stake Hex for 2 years when legacy bank CD is 4.7? Great question. Because again, the staking reward is not in dollar, my friend. It's in Hex. In other words, it could be 2% a year, and then the price 5x or 10x, that 2% now is worth 20% or 10%. Versus the other one is literally flat, which, by the way, the moment they go quantitative easing, that 4.7% can start going down really, really fast. So I don't think we're gonna keep seeing that for a while. But that's a great question. And then yeah, shout out to everybody talking about Hedron and P-Hedron because yeah, this staking is bullish for that. And that's what we're always going to be able to stake and help people because there's a lot of discounts there. It's great for those who want to do the NFT thing. And then like Pastor Abdoul said, there's many other options that allow you to buy the combined Hex value in those long-term stakes, like the Hexy, the Decis, and all sort of thing, because you get the exposure as well.
Agreed. And yeah, if Icosa and Hedron keep pumping, we could see some interesting things happen there as well. Wouldn't be surprised if those auctions restarted on Icosa, and that would make for a different reason to stake Hex. Because there's sort of an arbitrage point where if the price of Icosa goes up, I think it's about 60 Hex per Icosa relative to the price of Hex, then you can actually do an arbitrage, which is best done by creating a Quattro Cinco stake inside the Icosa protocol and then selling it to the protocol for Icosa, which then allows you to arbitrage that and do it again. And that's what happened in the past. It happened one time this year, once or twice on with Icosa on Ethereum, and I could see it happening again soon, especially if Alex comes out with his Icosa V2 he's been talking about.
Oh yeah, that's
and
true.
That would be another reason to stake.
Yeah, when he drops that, whoa, that's gonna be fire. Because I heard something like you're gonna be able to stake EHEX on PulseChain, something like that. Oh, sorry,
he was talking about that.
Hedron or something like that. But that's cool because he's the one that also helps push the, I don't see it as a bad thing, like push the parity of both Hedron. And I think that's cool because if that code works, hey, maybe that can be used for Hex too. Why not? You know what I mean? Or just simply, again, wink, wink, with all this heavy staking, bro, you just put 2 billion Hex, EHEX, PX liquidity, you lock it. Next thing you know, it ain't gonna move. It's gonna move together. Nobody has enough money to move that. You literally you can just set it up. Bound it.
Well, and the elephant in the room is that Ethereum gas fees have been below 1 Gwei for as many times as I've been able to check in the past few days. And so that's particularly notable that ending a stake on Hex on Ethereum is extremely affordable right now. And so that's pretty cool.
And Richard had a nice troll tweet that was funny when he showed it at the logo, and then he showed it at on the when you go on PulseChain, the PulseChain versus the Ethereum was only like less than 2x right between the two costs. I was like, wow, because the cost on PulseChain rising, which is good, the burning activity, right? And then the cost on Ethereum going down to the point where now it's almost not at parity, but like it used to be like 50x, 80x different. Now it's like less than 2. And the cool thing is, as a thesis, if it gets that low, and let's say they even do an upgrade and then lower it even more, well, now it's like all the FUD behind EHEX basically goes away. And again, it's where you change your worldview. It's not right or wrong because it looked bad before and now it doesn't. So it's nobody's fault. It's just, this is why I always tell people, when you got both, you don't have to choose. Because, Maddie, remember, we used to talk about it years ago. What if Ethereum finds a way to figure it out the gas fee issue. Even though I didn't expect them to do this version because that's dumb. They just lost customers. I thought they would just keep the customers and then just make it faster. But now, one way or another, it's going back to that. And when people say, "Oh, you're not going to be able to end your stake," well, right now you can't. So it's like, what a joke.
Right. So that's pretty cool. And then there was some news that like, I don't know if it was fake or real. It's kind of hard to tell, but like the trolling was real one way or another of like, Charles Hoskinson, the Cardano founder, like, was in a tizzy about, the name of his ticker ADA being launched, as, a meme coin on pump.tires. And whether he said this or not, it's sounding more like he did not say this, but it's like brilliant marketing for us that somebody like pretended to say that Charles said if ADA on PulseChain flips the market cap of his coin, that he'll quit crypto forever. Now, I think by reading in between the lines, like
that was fake. That was a troll.
I don't think he said that. I think that was also fake, but he keeps bringing it up. And of course, this there was a voice chat where Shill Gates went in and defended PulseChain, defended Richard Hart, pointed out the inconsistencies in Charles, defending everybody else in crypto like CZ and Roger Ver, and like was like weirdly defending CZ, like doing stuff on the with the OFAC sanctions list, which is super illegal, and like saying that was not bad, but then saying that what Richard has done is bad. And so Charles keeps reigniting this feud and making it worse, which of course it really kind of shows the power of our community, whether whether you love or hate the fiery nature of Hexicans, which I think can be taken too far sometimes, but in this case maybe it's not being taken too far, and that it's kind of showing people the difference between his intellectual dishonesty and like our own like gatekeeping kind of and we've got the angle now, the marketing angle of like, welcome to PulseChain, we love you, which like helps balance out some of the negativity. So
absolutely. No, it was clear about Charles is that he's definitely, like you said, inconsistent and disingenuous, because it's the same thing with Ripple. He used to talk shit about Ripple and then trolling them, and now he realized he needs them right to the bridge because there's basically, no offense, barely any liquidity and real volume on Cardano. So he had to find a way. So now he go kiss ass to the people that he talk shit about. I mean, this is literally fake as it gets. Those are facts because we have the whole tweet, we have the references. But now he got to kiss ass the same way he does the little fake partnership. He goes to SpaceX, pretend like I'm going to do something with Elon and and Doge, just trying to pump the price. And by the way, that's fine. This is crypto. We get it. But don't take the high road like you're somebody special when clearly you're not, and then you're full of shit. You don't even, like, you are inconsistent. You don't stand for nothing, right? Which is why you will fall for everything. And then you don't have the volume that PulseChain has. That's a fact. We're better than you. Yes, you may have a slightly inflated market cap, but let's not forget, we're not on exchanges. You are, which is also why you kiss ass to Binance, because the moment you start talking shit to CZ too much, they might delist your ass because there's no volume over there. In other words, you're at their mercy. We can speak freely because we real DeFi. We don't kiss nobody's ass. We keep it real. We tell the truth because we don't have like golden handcuffs attached, because his wealth is attached to Cardano because he sold a lot of his ETH, right, for the Cardano. So now if he fucks around, the shit gets delisted. His money that he has is going to go down really, really fast. Versus like, bro, we got the money from DeFi. Imagine we were on exchange. Not that we need to, but just imagine if PulseChain, because Hex really don't care. It's a store of value. But imagine PulseChain was an actual exchange.
Yeah, if Pulse was on Binance, it'd be like happy.
Killing Binance volume without being on Binance. How crazy is that?
It's crazy.
We got the receipts, man. That's it. He's just trolling. No, it's true. The guy trolled him a little bit, but it's meme. So many times people create memes of everything else. Nobody say thing. Why you come in and complain? It's a meme. Good luck trying to sue a meme.
Charles is looking for. He's also like engagement farming with this. All right. Exactly. Otherwise, he would stop responding and stop talking about Richard Hart. Stop talking about PulseChain. Well, he takes the bait every single time, and I don't think he's a stupid man. He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
He knows he's getting engagement.
I think he's a smart man and he doesn't know what he's doing.
He gets butt hurt easily. That's true.
But like when you look at the responses in his like when he replies, like I just pulled up the last one where he said, "This isn't me. I didn't retain a lawyer," and like he's saying that that's fake. That he didn't actually threaten to sue anybody. But then like there's like 400 responses, all from Hexicans underneath that tweet, right? And they're mostly hilarious, sometimes offensive.
It is. Good luck trying to sue a blockchain. Lol.
Yeah, indeed.
Right.
But like he's definitely getting the engagement from us. It's just not really helping his image. I'm not quite sure what the win is.
Watch how these people go buy the ADA on PulseChain.
Yeah, indeed.
That would be funny. That would be the funniest thing. And by the way, so this ADA is in there, there's link in there, there's almost everything in there. Because we're not on exchange. So yeah, we're gonna get your tickers on ours. We're not going to you come to us. Bring the money. Let's go.
And this is like anybody could launch a meme coin named ADA. Like you could launch 100 of them right now, and there'd be no way to figure out who did it, and you could not be sued. It seems like that's an unlikely.
Because there's too many disclosures anyway. It's called a meme coin, which means by definition it is fake. Even on Pump that tire, when you go there, you see all the massive disclosure you have to read and approve. It's all there. So it's like there's nothing you can do. It's actually genius for the trolling, which is what meme coins are, because everybody have these thousands and thousands and 100,000 meme coin every day, but nobody besides people on PulseChain were creating meme coins using real tickers named just to be like, hey, with the real, whatever you have with the real one over here. That's funny. That's an angle that wasn't being used before.
Right. Somebody's asking about like BitBoy commenting on the OA staking and like asking about the tokenomics and everything. I would say like,
what was the question? Sorry.
Basically they're asking like, how does somebody who's new make sense of all this like staking stuff and like what the tokenomics are behind Hex? And I would say like, the meta right now is not to deeply understand like what the latest EIP 1579 is doing to want to buy Ethereum. You buy Ethereum because you like the community or you like the token price, or you think it's going to go up or down. Like basically Hex is kind of the same way, where like, the experts are digesting all of this, tokenomics and game theory. And so like somebody new, they're not going to be an expert overnight. They're not going to get a PhD in Hex game theory, because they'd have to go back and watch our last 210 weeks of multi-hour episodes. But like how I would respond to like somebody noticing that stuff is happening in Hex, I would say, well, an address that's never sold is soaking up more of the inflation now. Just like Bitcoin has its halvings, where the supply, the newly minted supply that comes out goes down over time. Like that's what we've seen with Hex. And so for me, it's an exciting time now to be in Hex, especially when we're talking on this episode about how Bitcoin may or may not fall out of its parabola. And we have at least one data point of what happened last cycle when that happened is Hex went on a big run. And, so far this week, we're up already double what we were a week or two ago. So, like now's an exciting time. And I think there, as I said earlier in the show, there's still lots of bullets that are left, more game theory to be deployed. And so whether somebody who's new could like understand all of those finer PhD points, maybe they wouldn't at first, but if another thing is if you don't understand something to your own liking, then you just you miss out on it until you do understand it, right? That's part of doing your own research and like only investing what you're willing to risk. And so that would be my response. And I also did watch like BitBoy if you're talking about the Ben Armstrong version of BitBoy, which I think the channel got forked, but like he's come out with like a whole new drama series about like him and his girlfriend breaking up and like all the crazy stuff that happened with like people basically stealing his company from him. And I was highly entertained for like the 30 minutes that I watched today. And I'm sure he's going to keep getting a lot of views as he like tells his story of how he's been wronged in crypto and what he's done wrong and what he's done right. So
he's an outstanding guy.
Yeah. I met him last year at the PLS 369 conference equivalent thing. And so that was cool to meet him in person and see that he's a supporter of PulseChain.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's done a number of streams about PulseChain.
Yeah, he did some like paid promotion and he actually came on. I think it was a PulseChain conference. He came on for free and talked for an hour, and that was really cool. And so yeah, like he's not perfect and nobody is, but he seems to be fairly consistent in not gatekeeping Richard Hart. So that's cool.
Yeah, I did a 1 hour show with him. He didn't charge me a dime.
Look at that. It's awesome.
Really?
Maybe somebody else paid, but I didn't.
Huh. Wow.
That's freaking awesome.
What's next?
By the way, shout out to my boy Super Hex in the chat. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Brother. Yeah, he's right. See, showing the inconsistency of Charles again. Like literally, yes, true. I remember seeing that interview back in the day. Oh yeah, we're all together and this, that, and then and in tribalism. And the next thing you know, he's doing this garbage. No, he's just butthurt. That's what it is. Because secretly, he's like, he doesn't understand that Richard Hart earned that position where he's like, he's in the similar name with Vitalik. You know what I mean? The guy is, to me at least, just as smart. You know what I mean? Different version of genius, because he understands the overall concept of the crypto aspect and the business aspect, which is important. You know what I mean? Vitalik is more like just the super tech guy. It's kind of like if you play a character like in a video game, it's like Vitalik is a max player on the tech. And the Richard is like the all-around guy. It's like 90 all around. You know what I mean? He's more, and I'll pick that player over one that's just very good, 100% on one thing, but then the other skills is just kind of like average or below. You know what I mean? So, and Charles, like, he doesn't want to give Richard his respect. That's why he's hating. That's what it is. Because he was kind of like, co-founder of Ethereum. Then he do the ADA. So it's like, don't step to me. But it's like, no. And Richard put him in his place, rightfully so. Because remember that time they had that they're supposed to have the debate and he ran away. And then he just that's what it is. Because he's trying to pretend like, Hyro, I'm better, I'm this and that. But the statistics are showing otherwise. And before, we didn't have PulseChain. Now we have PulseChain to show that, hey, I can even make a better chain than you. Like literally, it's like I got to come out of retirement to show you how much you suck. And I'm going to create something that's better than yours. That's basically what it is.
There's somebody asking about like a Twitter user, the George HQ, who's basically like a political commentator, somebody who maybe has like a couple 100,000 followers and appears to be loosely or closely connected to the Trump family. This person has been following Hex and PulseChain influencers, including Hexologist, your friend Sami, and myself, and made a strange tweet yesterday or today saying, did you see when Eric Trump Jr. or somebody had like tweeted about buying Ethereum, and that meant people should buy Hex, and posted like a Hex video from like 2020 that actually is where my background comes from. So I have no idea what to make of this. I'm, like, I'm not sure if he is like more closely or less closely related to like the Trump family, or like the truth, or what is it called? The Liberty Finance
Liberty Financial.
Yeah.
thing.
World Liberty Finance.
But it's certainly exciting, and whether he's just a trader that's trying to, pump up Hex, or whether he is an insider who like is trying to leak something. Like, I think either of those situations are better than being gatekept.
I'm just scrolling through the account here, and there's multiple posts where it's pumping PulseChain, like showing the top chains by volume, including PulseChain, reposting Richard Hart stuff, like multiple times, talking about the ADA on PulseChain that we were just talking about. So it's like, yeah,
Right.
this seems like a real fan, and they have 200,000 plus subscribers. So that's not a bad ally, perhaps.
Love it. And it seems to be high engagement too, not just 200K ghost followers, but high engagement, and rarely tweets about crypto, but is semi-regularly posting about PulseChain now.
Yeah, like most of the crypto tweets seem to be connected to PulseChain, as far as I can tell in the last 10 days anyway. So, hey, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Welcome
Nice.
to PulseChain. We love you.
Yeah.
That's the line. That's the line.
Credit to Brizology on that line, by the way. I'm pretty sure he invented that.
Correct. Yeah.
And then somebody picked it up, and then now we all do it.
Brizology invented it in jest, and then Sami popularized it, and now we've all
that's awesome.
we've all
Shout out to
joined
Briz.
on. Yeah, shout out to Brizology. And Crispy's back from Mars.
I'm still up there. Yeah.
That's awesome.
My computer crashed while we were.
I like that comment from Digital Money Marcus. Do you think Arch making all these moves with the OA wallet means to the outcome of the SEC? I mean, we like to believe so, that that the outcome should be pretty clear, but because a lot of other cases are going to get dropped, it's not just going to be ours, because we're going to get the guidance that we need. But that would be a crazy man. If this thing drops, let's say it drops by or before the end of the month, holy cow. It will be the macro move that we needed on top of the technical move, and then Valhalla. See you. But I think before summer, we should hear from the judge. So, but we're trending good right now.
That'd be cool.
The staking happen is more bullish than even if the case gets dismissed. I just want to make that clear. That's how crazy important. That's how today I had to go full, because I want everybody to recognize that that's huge. Like, it's just, whoa.
Crispy, comments, thoughts?
Not specifically, no. I mean, you have a specific topic?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Anything that we haven't touched on, we've been kind of jumping around.
We're looking at the comments. By the way, chat, if you have any questions, here's your time. We've been over 2 hours already. So if you have all the stuff, let us know. We're happy to answer those. Guess what Hex code has?
Anyone making it easier to buy? I assume you're talking about Hex and PulseChain. Yeah, it gets a little bit easier from time to time to buy these things. Internet Money Wallet. There's a new bridge. Well, there's like a bridge supposedly from Binance that's happening. There's like cross-chain swapping that you can do with PortalXSwap.io. There's like incremental improvements here and there. It would really be nice to get like a centralized exchange listing so that more means could be activated. There's changenow.io sometimes works. But yeah, if you're a whale, you're going to be following like the longer instructions that I've written out for you at solidusKey.com, which you don't even have to buy a $20 coin to like get the instructions on how to use the PulseChain bridge. And you do have to buy a Trezor, because that's a hardware wallet, but basically, there's much more upside to like centralized exchanges like Coinance or like Coinbase, Binance, or Kraken to list PulseChain. That'd be really cool.
I hope we get Kraken. Honestly, it's the less polluted out of the three. At least if you need West, that'd be cool.
For a newbie, I would recommend like looking at my instructions on how to buy Hex on solidusKey.com. Because like it's a number of instructions that you're gonna have to set up. Just like if you wanted to buy Bitcoin when it was like a penny or $1 or $10, you had to like go through a lot of steps. So it is with other tokens like PulseChain that are early or new.
Well, PulseChain per se, I mean, the main thing is
self-custody.
Get the wallet of your choice, whatever it is, MetaMask or any other one might be cited. And then, I'll say if you can deal with the volatility, get some ETH. If not, just get stable coins. Obviously, a little bit of ETH because you need that for gas fee. And then, bridge.pulsechain.com. That's when your journey starts. You know what I mean? Make that bridge that baby. And then app.pulsex.com and then hear the party start. And definitely, if you can, download the local. A lot of people keep going to the website, which is cool, but it's there for a reason. Be fully decentralized proof if you can. You never know. Like, look right now, my browser, Google Chrome, is literally saying like I'm downloading a virus. That's how stupid it is. Like it's literally even I'm trying to bypass it, but like download anyway, it won't let me download it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Thank God I have the older version, it works or whatever, but I'll probably have to go to the GitLab, like Crispy said, and then get it that way. And get the Pulse, what's it called? The PulseChain. There's a new PulseChain suite that got everything on at once. That's cool. Oh, dashboard, sorry. The PulseChain dashboard, I'll probably download that.
Oh, and also a reminder, if you have a Pulse domain website or like a PNS name, so mine is Maddie.eth and Maddie.pls, those have existed for a year now, and so it's going to expire if you don't renew it. And so there's like a public service announcement that like lots of influencers have names that maybe they were gifted in the first year or that they bought in the first year of pulse.domains coming out. And so you can go to the website pulse.domains to renew or to like check and see if your favorite name is coming, due. Like I've got Hex Conference, .pls and PulseChain conference.pls. And so you got to make sure to renew those. Otherwise they go into an auction, and every day they get cheaper until they're back to the base price.
Oh, we had a great comment. I didn't know that. Somebody said, Michelle just said, MetaMask is now taking USDC and USDT for gas. That's fun. That's cool. But be careful. Sometimes MetaMask, if you're using the MetaMask swap, their dumbass is like the fee is crazy. So if it's not MetaMask swap and you're just doing the regular swap somewhere else, okay. But if it's MetaMask swap, just be careful because sometimes their fee is outrageous. So, and if grade just went down, so the gas fee shouldn't be too bad. But thank you, Michelle. It's good to know. As a secondary option, if you only have stables, you can use that now for gas. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. Oh, somebody said BankX closer to getting out. Does anybody know how many they have left? Is it still 200 mil or is it less? Do we know? Anybody?
I'm not sure.
Somebody used to have
they're working their way down.
Yeah, definitely.
They sold a little bit this week.
Oh, good. The more they sold, the better. Get them out.
So awesome. Well, we've had another successful episode of Game Theory Gang here. And as we said before, one of the most exciting weeks in game theory history for Hex and PulseChain. So make sure to rewind and get with the replay gang if you didn't watch from the beginning. Right now, we've got about 250 people watching on YouTube and hundreds watching on Twitter and thousands on the replay. So shout out to all of you. Hit the like and subscribe button on all the different channels you might be watching from, and subscribe to each of these guys on their own respective Twitter and YouTube channels. Let's go around the room and hear where people can find you guys. Crispy?
Hexfire.io or Hexfire.io on Twitter and YouTube. The X.
All right.
Bang, bang. Me on the screen, Your Magic on Twitter, or Kareem Crypto Cuatro Cinco on IG if you hang around there. Pleasure.
IG. What's IG?
Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Oh, the best. Yeah.
I don't even have a Facebook account.
Cuatro
I'm too
Cinco,
old
yeah.
for this.
Sorry, I thought it was obvious. It's IG. Maybe.
No.
Yeah, we're not a character.
Up
It's
to the
only
boomers.
IG.
No.
I can't add more.
Fair enough. Anyway, not on IG. You can find me at FastAbdoul on Twitter, or via my website, 2phux.io.
And then I'm going to be going on a guest appearance tomorrow with a new Hex streamer who's been in the community for a long time called Taurus Talks. So I'll post that on my Twitter. I've been going on Mario Knopfwall's channel a couple times a week, getting those young 100,000 views there. So that's really cool. And so make sure to tune in wherever you might find me. And keep up the good work, everybody, with getting the word out about Hex and PulseChain. So until next time, stake wisely, my friends, and peace out.
Sheesh. Awesome. Shout out to my boy Hex Farmer too. I saw him in the chat on the way up. Peace.